Your boys, Rich and James on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans. That's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. A lot going on in the world of pro wrestling and beyond. We are back here with a regular length show this week. Everyone kind of liked the condensed ONR last week that I was seeing.
Okay, I'm glad they liked it, but I don't think they should expect it like regularly. I'm not just gonna get my ass in a car or whatever and drive up like was it like 6.5 hours, 7 hours on a regular basis. That's not a thing. But I'm glad they liked it. The only thing I wish is that like your ass had stayed in your room in your office, and we were able to kick in the door on you and had you shook up, but you had to use the bathroom. You had to. I need to take some time. I need to
Major called.
And then you didn't even use the bathroom. What I remember, you just went straight.
I didn't. Amazing.
Yeah. All right.
It was a fun weekend. James came and hung out up here, with Marcus and Alex, and it was a fun time for my birthday and all that, and we watched a pay-per-view, and we had a title change this week, not on the pay-per-view. I think I put out kind of my thoughts on it on ROPW.
Right.
People was a little moist, when I was asking questions, James. All I was doing was asking questions. I was like, this ain't feel weird?
Well, to be fair, you said people feeling moist, which is that's crazy. But like, to be fair, you were pouring water on the whole goddamn thing. You would admit, right? No?
I was just telling the truth on how I felt about what I saw.
At the same time, you will admit that it ain't that. While it's not exactly I feel like we're in the minority. I feel like most people love this or enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it to an extent that I think Darby's a great wrestler. He's someone that should have been put in position to have done this, except the timing's just off. Like if the timing was on, I guess we got to start there, right?
I guess we do. Yeah, we got some other stuff planned, but we might as well do the Darby Allin title change with MJF right here. Yeah.
So after, it's weird because it's also we're here to review.
We're going back and forth. We're time copping.
Yeah. It's strange, but I mean it's the most present thing or prescient, whatever. The most pressing thing, right? Is that Darby Allin last night won the AEW World title. And he won it in Everett, Washington, his neck of the woods, as a home area guy. And it was set up throughout the night to where he won the match against Andrade at Dynasty, a great match. Match was like, see, man, this is why these two should be in the main event scene. And, just going forward, it was no one contenders match. Darby in the post-match thing said, hey, I'm going to do, before the main event said, hey, I'm going to do it at Everett. Which should have led people to their, to the alert of, hey, I don't think Kenny Omega's gonna win the title and then all of a sudden just beat Darby Allin in Washington 3 days later. That'd be crazy. So MJF shows up with Don Callis and their whole Rico that they got going on. Renee tells him, hey, your match is on next. He runs out down to the ring. Darby cuts his crazy crying promo. He's basically like, I love the promo, but you're giving away that you're going to win the championship.
I was like, cry after the match, fool. What are you doing?
It's like you goof. So, and then granted, look, it's in the eye of the beholder. For me, it's like,
when I watched it the second time, I liked it a lot more than I did seeing it the first time. I was like, what are you doing, bro?
Right, I enjoyed it. I'm just laughing at him for crying. Right, the promo was great. It's just, for some people, him crying in that way, it puts it over the top for why they like it so much, or like it more than just a great promo from Darby, who's not a great promo, consistently. To just being like, I like this a lot, but I also, Rich knows things. Rich tells me some of the things he knows, so my antennas are for are you giving away the situation, even though it's kind of already for a person that's following AEW, you kind of have an idea of like they're not booking all of this just to get to this point and then just have the Rainless parade.
Like they've been giving it away themselves for like 2 months at this point.
Yes, and
If there's anything I can like hope that we do, like when we like point these things out, is like not necessarily teach people how to watch the wrestling show, but like when we notice the signs of what they're doing, we're telling you to look for the signs.
yeah, especially because AEW is not WWE, for example, that like all they do is talk and talk and talk. So like you get lost in all the paragraphs of dialogue that they are dropping breadcrumbs to where they're headed. With AEW, it's very much a almost like a what do you call it? If they're doing anything, it's for a reason, right? So, or there's reason. Like if you see somebody say something, it's like, all right, keep your antennas up. Generally speaking,
Right.
So back to Darby, he cuts his great promo, and then they get Danielson on the mic there, and he does the play by like the middleman between, he's talking on behalf of what's being fed to his ear from Tony Khan / hey, we're in Everett, Washington, and it's
Why
Danielson.
don't you talk?
Let Danielson talk to get you super happy because it's an underdog babyface in the main event in his hometown, and it's fitting into all of that, which was like they're just hitting you over the head with a damn Yoshi
Subtext.
the Yoshi sledgehammer from Super Smash Bros. That hit this motherfucker's own champion, be the champion there tonight. So you have that. They move it over to the side and say that's going to be the main event. Then later on, as he's about to walk out, they have a pre-match interview similar to like some like the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix in Stardom, and all of a sudden Sting's there, and it's like, okay.
And they're playing video packages all throughout the night.
Showing like the whole entire
So heavy-handed.
Showing the entire rise of Darby's like whole AEW run of like, hey man, this guy is very important and is a, I wouldn't say foundational, but is a key part that you cannot forget in the history of AEW television in history. And I mean, it would have felt better had they treated him more as such over the last 6 months as opposed to like the last 3 or 2. But it is what it is. So Sting
We should probably mention like MJF like cutting these promos, and he does like a really good job like kind of tying all this shit together, being in disbelief and with Callis and
shooting himself bell because he's about to lose tonight. That's really what it is. It's like, hey man, I wasn't expecting a match. I just had a grueling match with Kenny Omega. By God, the pro wrestling god, I beat him, and now 3 days later I got to defend myself. And I almost wrestled for an hour when really you didn't wrestle 40 minutes. I don't think. It's like, okay man, we get it. You're gonna lose, and you're probably gonna go away. God damn, you don't need to lay it. Like, it's okay. You're a bad guy. It's okay for you to lose. So then all of a sudden the match comes out, and I said at some point, I think about like 9:10, 9:15, knowing that there's a Willow match going on. I was like, hey, bro.
When is this about to happen?
I was like, is this a 3-hour show, a 3-hour episode of Dynamite I'm unaware of? No. The bell. So flash forward, they don't get the bell doesn't ring for the main event until what 10:02?
Like 10:02 at least.
Yeah, so 10:02, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So they, match happens, and it is Aubrey's the ref. MJF at the bell ring says, "Hey Aubrey, I forgot. I still have my AEW diamond ring thing. Take the ring." She takes the ring, goes and sends it to the scorekeeper or whatever, or the ring announcer or whatever else, and MJF proceeds to kick Darby in the dick. So gets him up. Darby and MJF start headed like barreling like they're about to do a rough bump, running right into Aubrey. Aubrey ducks, no rough bump. They stop just short of it. Darby realizes Aubrey's back turn, kicks MJF, returns favor, kicks him in the dick, and then like a barrage of 4 or 5 consecutive or unanswered coffin drops. Gets him up and then does the side headlock pin that MJF is pinned Darby with, like twice already in their previous times wrestling each other in AEW, and I was like, wow, MJF really did another fake job.
I think people think like there's like some type of issue with like I don't know, like I'm calling this what it is. It's a fake job, like, and people not aware of the term. This is a historical One Nation Radio term.
It's something that me and you co-termed.
Yeah, like so, like when people hear that, it's like, but he lost quote unquote definitively in the middle of the ring. I'm like, this felt like a Money in the Bank cash in. Like when you think about it, and you add up the boxes.
Well, let's break it down because like we only have really ever talked about this really in terms of like MJF and really honestly, and maybe a couple of WWE things here and there.
Oh, Adam Copeland.
Oh, Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, right?
Adam Copeland for sure. Malachi Black.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes.
Yes. Oh, well, I don't think I coined those squashes that Cody took, like the one to Brody King and the one to Malachi Black. I didn't consider those fake squashes, but I know. But because they actually helped those people. Like, right, it's a fake squash if you don't actually help the people.
The John Moxley CM Punk one also.
I mean, how do I say this? It helped Moxley at the time. The problem is trying to get that match a week later on pay-per-view. That was the real problem. Because when Moxley did that shit, Moxley cut that promo after this one. Oh, is that how you thought it was supposed to go? I was like, oh, this nigga's king of the world right now.
The Hurt Business. That's a good one. Fake jobs.
Hurt Business does fake jobs.
Yeah.
If they ever do any jobs to begin with.
If they do, yeah. So, like, the fake job is like, all right, man, like, if it doesn't go, if they don't attempt to do, like, a real match, like, for any real length of time.
That's the real thing. AEW, now we'll break it down. AEW is the match promotion, or one of the match promotions, right? You can say Stardom, you can say Dragon Gate, you can say New Japan, you can say, well, I can't say Noah because Noah's, yeah. But this is a promotion where they put their best wrestlers in the ring, and more times than not, you're going to get a definitive finish, or you're going to get a match with a finish that will then lead to a definitive finish down the line, right? So in this match, it's not a real match. A real match is what MJF and Kenny Omega just had on Sunday. Like Kenny Omega and Swerve 1 and 2 this year. Those are real matches. Andrade versus Kenny Omega and Andrade versus Swerve in basically like pseudo number 1 contender matches or AEW World Championship tournament matches. De facto, those were real finishes, right? It may involve some foul play, a low blow, a roll up, distraction, whatever else, but they gave you a full match where somebody gets beaten either cleanly or for a reason, and it will be and you will get your match that didn't have a clean undisputed finish returned later. Like Swerve beating the hell out of Kenny Omega led to the rematch.
Yeah.
And then we got a definitive situation out of Kenny Omega and Swerve in the second match, right? When it's Wardlow and MJF, and it's just a barrage of
power bombs to start the match.
And then he's over before it even started, and then all of a sudden MJF shows up on the next show, calls Tony Khan a fucking mark, and then leaves for months, and it comes back. Like, MJF comes back, and because it's such an unusual thing, you don't think of it as he's going up or going down. He's just in stasis, and he goes away, and he comes back, he's right where he left off. And the main thing about it is that
they wouldn't do this if like if they would just book a regular match if they wanted to book a regular match. This is irregular. Right.
And the thing about that is that's not the worst thing in the world. The problem is when you beat somebody like that, what we see is very similar to like the Hulk Hogan laying down for Billy Kidman. Like, cool, Hogan gets the pat on the back for not being selfish for once. Not saying that MJF is as bad as Hogan, because Hogan's the all-timer at this. But it is, Hogan's going to go on and continue to be Hulk Hogan. The person that he put over, did they actually get over? Wardlow, all the steam left out of that when MJF left. And he didn't get a definitive match. He didn't get his true vengeance. He didn't tear him apart. You didn't see none of that. It was a quick little match. He goes away for months. Wardlow's stuck holding the bag in theory, basically, right?
So with Darby now, I feel like they set him up like one of your first-time champions that cashes in a Money in the Bank and sneaks a nigga, essentially. Like, and do you expect a strong champion to be coming out of this? I don't.
No, and to be fair, I don't think any of us expected Darby to have some long heroic title run to begin with anyway.
But I'll say
this. This don't help. This don't help.
I'll say this. If Darby Allin was my favorite wrestler, I would feel fucking ripped off from what happened. Like, as far as like...
It feels slightly unearned.
Like, bro, like if Kenny Omega would have beat Okada exactly like this at Dominion, I would have fucking threw something or turned like a table over. Like absolutely the fuck not. Like,
I get what you're saying. Those are totally different situations because we had already seen him have like the best match I had ever seen in my life up to that point. And then the match that they delivered the transfer the title over is the best match I've ever seen in my life. So it's a little different. I get what you're saying.
Right.
I'm not expecting Darby and MJ. I'm not expecting Darby and MJ have to go out there and have a match of the decade. I'm just not.
I'll say this. If I'll always bring back to this example for Stardom. If you had to watch Tam beat Julia in this fashion, like at the end, like
I get you.
It feels cheap. Like I hate to break it to people,
especially because
large contingent of people. When y'all listen to All Things Elite, and you hear Floyd Johnson, he's gonna say the same shit. They treat this nigga Darby like a Make-A-Wish kid.
Yeah,
like
because if they really want to do it, they could have waited until Double or Nothing and put it underneath the joint. Put it underneath whatever's the final of the Owen, right?
The Owen, yeah.
Right? Or they could have put it on Sunday, done it then, and then they could have moved on from there. They didn't have to do Andrade versus Darby as a number one contendership match. They only did that because they need to actually like lately I've been talking about the rankings don't exist anymore, but like he needed some help to be boosted up in the rankings that don't exist anymore to be actually he does deserve a title shot because Andrade's been picking around and beating people that actually got number one contendership matches, right?
Yeah.
Like the Gabe Kidd and the dog shit didn't do it.
And I like those matches like that he had with Gabe Kidd, but I didn't see the coffin match to be fair.
Not good. That is easily the worst coffin match in AEW history.
Gotcha.
That shit is like a go look at the cage match rating for that one. Yeah. I think that's just in the high fives or some shit like that.
Yikes. So,
I like it more than that, but I'm saying that's what most people think.
So like the thing that I really felt about it was I felt like it was rather out of nowhere. They put a one episode arc together with him, and it was like, okay, I get it. And this guy's great. Like, this is to take nothing away from Darby Allin as a wrestler. This is an all-time AEW. This is probably like a second-team all AEW performer, like in the history of AEW, right?
Yeah. If we saying top five acts or whatever else, he's somewhere like top 5 acts make the first team, and the next 5 make the second team. He's definitely a threat for second team all AEW. Yeah.
This guy,
he's a first ballot AEW Hall of Famer.
Like, I've championed this guy for years on this show. This guy getting like this weird win out of nowhere after he decides to climb the mountain last year, which we haven't mentioned. Like,
that's another part of it.
When we talk about the timing was last year.
Right. Do you want to go through the timing real quick? You want to go through the timing through it real quick?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So we've seen this plenty of times. We've seen this in seemingly New Japan Pro Wrestling. We've seen this in Stardom. We've seen this in AEW. Somebody is picked there's a plan in place for somebody to become AEW World Champion, or there is a title succession plan, right? Someone gets injured, someone's off TV, there's some type of dispute, whatever, we don't know, whatever. Regardless, whatever it is, it gets delayed and kicked and punted down the road. And once it's punted down the road, Tony Khan, I can't think of a time, maybe there is one, I just don't remember, where they say, this was the plan, we found something as good or better, and we're going to move on with it. What happens is, they move on, and then whatever the plan was,
loop back around.
They loop back around, they punt it down the road, they eventually fit it into place, and then they'll move on, and they'll keep going forward for whatever the next plans are, right? So, looking at this, seeing how this was done, it seems to me that not last year, the end of 2024, especially at the end of 2024, because after the Owen final, where Danielson beats Page, Darby then, like in the next match, beats Page. While Page was still doing this character where he was too fucking angry to actually focus his energy into something productive. That cost him to Owen. That cost him against Darby, and that sent him on this journey of needing to, damn near murder Swerve to have a crisis of conscience. Hey man, this path of vengeance I'm on is ultimately empty and hollow, and I have to kind of figure out a way to manage the mistakes I've made going forward, right? Darby, on the other hand, he beats Page. I forgot what else he does, but all of a sudden it looks like it looked like he was the person they were choosing.
He loses to Jack Perry. He loses to Jack Perry in the coffin match at Wembley.
That's right. So he loses to Jack Perry. They're having their feud. He wins the feud against Jack Perry ultimately at the end, I believe. And then next thing you know, it's kind of odd. It's kind of weird. We don't know what's going on. And then next thing you know, we start hearing about Darby's going to Everest. You're like, why is he going to Everest? It looks like he's about to be the person supposed to go to All in Texas and face Moxley. And then
eventually he gets to a Jay White match. Jay White destroys him and sends him. Actually, no. The first time he tries to climb Everest, that shit gets pushed back. And he can't go at first.
That was 2024, right?
Forgot about that, but we should mention. Yeah. So this is the second time, right? And then Jay White takes him off TV. He's gone.
TV. He goes and climbs Everest. As he goes and climbs Everest, he everybody knows. Okay, well now they have to go with Page or Ospreay. But it was like, wow, if you know this is in Texas, you know this is you're going back to Wembley next year. That seemed. You could have chose either one. They decided to go with Page because Page was doing some of the best work in the history of the company as a singles wrestler at that time. Better than Darby's ever done. But we'll go forward. So we'll go forward. Darby comes back, interferes in the Texas Death match in Texas, all in Texas. Page becomes champion. Immediately following that, they go straight to Moxley versus Darby, and they have an I Quit match, right? Or those I Quit match, right?
They do basically Darby starts going through the Death Riders. I think he has to face Pac in like a TV program. He ends up in an I Quit match with Moxley that main events a show.
That main event's a pay-per-view. Correct. That Page is a champion on, which was like, okay, so they're putting them bigger than a belt right now, right? And then it continues going on.
It was almost like that was meant to happen.
In All in Texas, yes. Where Sting shows up and bashes the aquarium, like Sting only show up for special occasions. He only shows up for the biggest of shows, brother. So it's either involving the gigantic moment in he's almost like I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to give you a comic book reference, right? There's a character or characters in Marvel's comics called the Watcher. Basically, anytime there's like some cataclysmic thing that could alter the arc of the universe, the Watcher just shows up and says, hey Iron Man, hey Captain America, and it's like, oh shit, that means something for real finna happen. Like Sting is almost like the Watcher in AEW.
If y'all ever seen the Bronx Tale, it's like when Sonny pulls that nigga out the car before they about to blow up at the end. That's kind of what that is like too.
Yeah. So Sting only show up for important Darby moments or important AEW moments, right? At this point, since he's retired. So you get that. Then you have to tell me what the back half of last year was for Darby. Because I'm blanking because they fumbled. Oh, it was a lot of it was
messing with Gabe Kidd,
more Death Riders, and then Moxley offloading his Darby
he got hurt.
To Death Riders.
He got hurt. He was supposed to be in the C2. He was supposed to be in the C2. Right. He got hurt after the first match. And he lost to Kevin Knight.
He got drop kicked by Kevin Knight. Yeah. So that fucked up his year too. Right, and also Moxley probably would have got that win back.
Seeing how it all went.
Right. So
he was gonna beat somebody.
Right. So now you go through the year where we're in catch up to where we are now, and it's like, okay, so he was he came back. The big thing was the Moxley thing, and then they kind of didn't know where to put him in position, and then they get to the year and like, oh my god, we knew this was coming, and like now we gotta kind of like cram We gotta get rid of the.
It's like this side. It's like this side diversion.
We gotta get rid of the Gabe Kidd thing because it's not making him seem like a main eventer. We gotta put him in the ring with people that have been chasing after this AEW World Title at the beginning of the year. You know, the Swerves, the
Andrades,
the Andrades, the Kenny Omegas, the Hangman Adam Pages, the Brody Kings of. I said Brody King earlier when I meant Brody.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah. But like, it was a lot of that in the last like month or two to cram to get to this point. And I don't hate it, but it's like if you knew that you were going to do this, you should have been more cognizant that like, hey, this at the beginning of the year or the end of last year, the beginning of this year, this wasn't working to build him a launch pad to get to this moment. They did a lot of work over the last like 2 or 3 weeks or last month really to get to this point.
You've also got
MJ really feel earned.
And you've also got MJF having a good title reign.
Very good title reign. One of the best title reigns in the history of the company.
Business on the upswing. Kenny Omega and Swerve drawing big numbers with their matches.
Yes.
And then
Jericho showing back up.
Jericho showing back up. You've got Bandito going nuts throughout the whole thing. Like you've got a lot of guys in place rising. Like Kevin
Andrade out here looking like he should be the first Mexican AEW World Champion.
Like, so all this is happening. Then it's like it's Darby you're going with. Like, it's just it kind of works against like what seemingly was getting established with all these folks that were beating each other week in and week out. And having these good main events, and
I'll tell you what it looks like.
What does it look like?
It looks like they're in a 4x1 relay, right? And then like every other nation, right? Swervistan, Omegadom, all of them were well ahead, and then all of a sudden we didn't know that Darby in the fourth leg had Usain Bolt on his fucking team, and all he did was laugh at the very end of that in the final stretch. Like, wait, what? How did this happen?
That's funny. So I guess like I said, I felt like it had weird kind of energy around it, and there was like a very heavy-handed nature combined with like the fake job thing, which is like if he just beats him in like a 10 or 15-minute match,
it'd be so much more satisfying for me.
For me, same. Like it would be like, oh, okay, like it actually looks like something that's gonna push him over the top and keep the fucking momentum rolling because the company's hot right now. Right. I'm not necessarily concerned about them falling off the map or anything with Darby in position or anything. I don't
think this is gonna be a long reign. I think this got 6 months or 6 weeks at most.
Yeah. Like this is a good time, not a long time. So, but yeah, like I think like I don't know if some people may have like misconstrued like the things I was saying, like as far as like, you know, like the whole thing with the fake jobs and then it being like some anti-Darby agenda. Like, no. Like,
in a way, it's not too dissimilar from the Samoa Joe thing earlier this year. Well, also, he's the person that beats Hangman Page. Like, this wasn't built to, like, this person was an actual real threat. It just happened.
And I've seen a lot of people.
Except Darby, at least you knew you had some stop and starts. But like all of a sudden, like if you just start watching AEW this year, beginning of this year in 2026, you're like, wait, he's a champion now?
Like the nigga that was doing the car crashes and like the stunts and
he has good matches. I like him, but like he ain't. But there are people gonna be like he ain't Swerve, he ain't Andrade, he ain't so forth and so on. Omega, all that.
Yeah, and there was one other point I had. Like so many people brought up it being this Mick Foley like thing, and I'm like, and wanting it to be like kind of seen in that light, and I'm like, do you niggas want to love the Fed or not? Like, what do you want it to be? Like, do you want to be your own thing? Like, if Darby wants to win this shit, you want Darby to win this shit, and you want it to kind of be remembered. Let it be remembered for its own thing, rather than just like this 1999 shit that ultimately served the other nigga that was in the rivalry.
Well, do you actually think that people really believe that, or are they just making like parallel comparisons?
Very simple. Very simple ground level comparisons.
Right. Because like that match had a million fucking run-ins, and Austin comes at the end, and the crowd loses fucking mind, and it's a chair shot. This didn't have that. Like Darby, obviously for dick kicks, but like there wasn't plunder and a million niggas running in. It didn't involve that. It just has to be like, oh, this is the flagship TV show where underdog babyface beats the dastardly heel of the moment.
I'm like, you know what, like smokes this also? Lex Luger beating Hulk Hogan on fucking Nitro. Like, bro, like y'all not.
I gotta go back and watch it.
Look, in the words of my New York niggas. In the words of my New York niggas, like when you see the reaction to Lex racking them. And you see what that building fucking looks like, right? On Nitro 100, I'm not, as my New York niggas would say, I'm not jacking this shit.
All right, so you're not willing to admit that like the era's different, and that like if guys were doing what they were doing now back in 1990, like the damn stadiums and arenas would like spontaneously combust and implode the roof, right? Like,
hey, there's one thing that don't change over time: lifting the bitch up. Like, there's one thing that don't change over time: putting a bitch like this in the ring.
Think about the best moments of WCW time. Motherfuckers are throwing shit in the ring in celebration. Like, there's poster boards everywhere. People were easy to like, bro. The second somebody sees a Canadian Destroyer in 1996, it's fucking over. I'm sorry, it just is. So, I get what you're saying, but it's not exactly apples to apples. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. We're harder to entertain these days. That's all.
Yeah, like but yeah, Darby's a new champion. Looks like he's set to face Tommaso Ciampa, who picked up a win over Desmond Xavier. Darby versus Ciampa should be really good and fun, and I was reminded once again, James, people did not want this man in the company.
You know, look, man, like, there's the other side of it, right? Like, there's the people.
Luger Nitro, the biggest pop I had ever heard in wrestling. I'm telling you, bro. He's got him up like that shit was, and then let's not even bring up Goldberg. Like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
Some other shit, bro. That's some other shit. Like
I'm saying, like if this, like if it's a babyface winning the belt for the first time, and they hand me that script, like exactly, and I get it. I'm like,
I get you.
Why can't I just? I don't know.
Why can't I just win at the biggest show of the
There's that.
Season? Yeah.
There's that, but it's like, I guess there's a lot of factors here. So I don't know. Like, and
if the factor is, hey, I think Kenny Omega does a lot better on a main event marquee to sell whatever the typical number of pay-per-views AEW does in Darby Allin, then maybe that's your fucking hint.
I mean, not so worried about Big Ken.
Neither am I. But you get my point. Is like, if your whole thing is you got to do this to get the fan, to get the buy rates. But then now we'll give you
switch it on the other side.
Yeah, because we're afraid if we do the moment here, then it won't sell as many. Then there's your fucking answer, probably. Just maybe. Or you can wait 3 more months and build Darby up, and then do it at double or nothing or whatever in 3 months.
I guess they really wanted to do it in Washington. Darby talked about how he was hanging the posters and all that. I saw that WrestleSticks count. He should have hung a few more posters, it looked like. But, so
that is nasty. That is nasty. He should have hung a few more posters. I mean, well, there is somebody from Washington State that could have been on the show that could have helped too, but he was on the show.
Yeah, they always had an option to book that guy. So I would love to see it. But Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay video I dropped Monday said basically like these boys started their road to Wembley, bonded, united in grief, like Kendrick Lamar. Like bonded by loss.
United and ass whooped. That's what it was. Yeah. they had this fresh on the meat wagon in the training room where they normally be at of the last couple years, or at least last year anyway. And it's like, man,
they have this awesome segment where it's like, you just want to hug both of them and be like, it's gonna be okay, niggas. Like, y'all got it. Yeah, I believe in both of you.
It's a great story. It's a, hey man, like I was this person's reason to believe, and they are kind of basically where I was at a decade or a decade to 8 years ago, and now this person he's more steadfast in his belief to hold on to the rope, and I'm nearly ready to let go. And he's telling me that like the reason why I even got this far is because he looked up to me, and now that inspires me to then also want to hold on. And it also ties into their
history. Yep.
Especially because we've always been joking like, hey man, they don't come to save each other. They act like this shit never happened.
Yeah.
I'm glad this brought back. This was very much the most connected I felt that Kenny Omega's been to another wrestler since like the Hangman stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
So I love this. I love like because Kenny Omega ain't got too many great moments as a babyface doing mic work, and like the last 2 weeks have been like, this is the best shit Kenny Omega's done in AEW as a hero. It's amazing. See what happens when you don't behind the eyes on him, Kenny Omega? See what happens when you feel like you in Japan, but you really in America? Doesn't it feel good?
Bro, I was like, yeah, like this is it. Like this was like we'll give him the kiss on the forehead, which might turn out to be the kiss of death. You know, there's a lot of subtext. I bet I could write like a really good column like about this segment, like just kind of what it feels like, the symbolism between the two guys, and the flashing sign that's your Wembley's main event right there.
It's that match is happening at some point this year, and it's gonna be a babyface match for the first time. And it's weird that like their matches have gone are actually about to like go in reverse.
Yeah,
where it's like the match, like their first match is like what we thought the blow off matches is, and then they had the second match here. Now it's gonna be like in theory, whenever they had that match, it's gonna be still like the most civil, except they're gonna be crazy desperate to want to get to the mountaintop. So yeah, man. I really enjoy what happened here, and like for those people that feel like they've said this for like they don't, because I guess because of time investment on kind of stuff, they don't feel as connected to Will Ospreay as a character, and I'm just like, at this point, man, he is literally like the conscious of all the top babyfaces in this company. He's straightened Adam Page, he's straightened Swerve, he's straightening Kenny Omega. He is literally the white knight of this promotion. I don't know if people still are like, he's an outsider, we're not, or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's less of that. I think it's just more the normal people messing with him now.
Well, I know you said at one point, like, people respect the skills, whatever else, and knowledge, but like, are they ready to live and die with him? And I'm like, hey man, we should be here by now. What else does he have to do?
I think he's gotta get crowned at Wembley. Get a little bit more, lose another half inch of hair maybe, and like I don't know, just walk through that fire with the audience, like, and keep having these fucking incredible fucking matches. Like,
well, that ain't gonna stop. His neck gonna stop for that stops.
Yeah. So we're all kind of backwards on this thing. So I guess we should let me get into the super chat real quick.
Okay.
From great Devlin, he brought up $5 super chat. He said, I can't listen to it live. I got to get it off. I said it on ROPW. I'm putting my money on it. When are we getting Rich and Liv Morgan on a beat together? Brother, never. Like,
can you put that back on the screen?
Hold on. Let me see.
That needs to be documented on screen.
Yes, it was. Hold on.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah. Rich, you gonna have to answer that one, brother.
Never. Like it.
Never.
Yo, I mean, if the price is okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
But
do you remember when he used to do this Super Sweet 16 show on MTV or whatever else with the kids? You remember that?
Yes.
Okay, there was an episode where Young Jock was gonna be special performance of shit for somebody, right? And it's Young Jock. So no knock is Young Jock. Young Jock, look, in a five round versus Young Jock will knock plenty of niggas out, right? Plenty of niggas out. Look, bro, I heard like when we used to driving up there with me and Mark driving up to your shit, like we played "Hear Me Coming" and then "Dope Boy Magic" back to back, and it was like, yeah, man, that's tough. That's tough to do it. But anyway, Jock was like. They were like, yeah, we want you to do, Junior's, 16th birthday joint. And then Jock was like,
I don't rap for no kids.
His manager was talking about it. His manager was like, he busier than the president. And all of a sudden, dude was like, I could do it for 80,000. And he got the and I was like, I didn't charge no nigga no 80,000 back then. He didn't ever. So yeah, man, like.
Look, there would have only been one kind of kids party that would have been spending that kind of money for young Jock recklessly, but we'll keep it going. What else do we have? Okay, AEW Dynasty. We should probably start there.
Yeah.
Since we already did Darby wins the belt and everything like that.
But right, my point. Like, Rich gonna charge out the ass for a Liv Morgan. And first off, once Liv Morgan find out about this nigga and all
I'm getting thrown out the studio.
Kicked up, all the fuck shit. It's gonna be a no.
I'm getting thrown out. You know, apparently she dropped a new music video, James, and a song. Did you happen to hear the song, James?
I heard like 5 seconds of the song, so I can't give it a good, honest a review for it. But I did see the picture, and I saw someone say that she looks like Lady Gaga from like 19 years ago. And I was like, yeah, kind of. The hair, the makeup definitely gives that. She looks like Lady Gaga in that Wale music video.
Oh my God, yes she does. I told people on the ROPW channel, you get me to 1K on the subscribers, and it's moving because there was a Cameron and Jey Uso thing today that I did a reaction to that's going insane.
Okay.
You get me to 1,000 subs on that, I will do a reaction to the Liv Morgan music video behind the members tab when I launch it.
Oh man.
So I don't need that. It ain't like I'll be able to do nothing with that anyway. That shit'll get yoinked. So I got to throw on the members tab. So we'll do that. But yeah, AEW Dynasty from Vancouver. I think they had just over 9,000 in the building. Rogers Arena, really good show up and down the card. Just tons of quality matches everywhere. Yeah. Like I can't really even think of a part of the show where I was just like, oh, maybe the trios match.
Yeah, but I mean that match is more of a Kyle O'Reilly's back.
Yeah.
And now that Kyle O'Reilly's back, I want my goddamn C2 match with Kyle O'Reilly, my Continental title match between Kyle O'Reilly and John Moxley. That's what I want.
Apparently he's the only man that can beat John Moxley.
He's the only nigga that John Moxley can't guard. The only one.
He been folding niggas up back to back on pay-per-view since then.
Look, John Moxley out here putting niggas up with his Def Jitsu. That does not bother Kyle O'Reilly. Go pull the NXT takeover where he broke Finn Balor's jaw, wrestling basically Def Jitsu.
Yeah. So we opened this match or this show with the Young Bucks once again on another pay-per-view, another 5-star match to open a pay-per-view with Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. Okada breaking the tie with Kenny, getting another 5. He got 32, and MJF and Kenny ended up with 4 3/4. So this allows Okada to pull back in front as MJF contributes to lowering the star rating with his finishes.
Well, to be fair, was that actually a 4 3/4 star match? Or was that 4.5 match?
I give it 4.5, but according to Dave. But back to the Bucks with Kazuchika Okada. I don't want to hear any debate about anything that has to do with anyone ever being better than the Young Bucks. This nigga Nick Jackson is possessed. He is like in the best shape I've ever seen him in right now.
He was tired of Matt. He was tired of Matt embarrassing him.
Bro, they are like, I don't know what's gotten into the Bucks this year. It's like they're wrestling with their hair down, essentially, like in hanging 10 out here with these boys, and like it feels like they're about to give us like another all-time Young Bucks year. Like, I just
they're bigger than the belts at this point,
bro. Like you gotta team up niggas to come see. You can have the belts, FTR. That's fine. We'll save your title reign. We'll put you over, and then send you off on your way, and then have better matches than you every pay-per-view. Like we will continue to do this. The Young Bucks are not playing around with people. It's quite scary. Like it's 2 Shawn Michaels in the tag team, bro. Like And that used to be like a BTE running gag. It's two Ric Flairs in this bitch. It's two Shawn Michaels in this tag team. Like, I love this match.
This match was great. And I mean, you know, we talked about this when it was like they just last second put this together because Fletcher was hurt. It's like, bro, they were gonna outdo whatever. It was unfair what was about to happen between a Young Bucks match with that kind of talent, that kind of all-star talent versus FTR having to carry these old niggas. But even still, like I kind of think FTR did a little bit better than I thought they were going to.
They actually did really good with that. Look, that might be Cope and Christian's best ever regular rules tag match ever.
It just might be, but what remains? There's levels to this shit, and like credit to FTR for wanting to show the company, what they can do carrying these old niggas as far as they can go. But man, there's something to be said about when it's best on best.
Yeah, bro. Like
when you get four of the best wrestlers of a generation together.
Like I think. Like everything with Okada and Takeshita was like compelling and awesome and almost like
and also frustrating because it's like, God damn it, we're basically at the same spot we were when they faced Brodito.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, like these niggas out here like basically culminates with Takeshita like, you know what? I'm all right. Let's see if you can kick out of the Meltzer driver. You got it.
I got a question, man.
Yeah.
How many more times are they going to put... obviously, it seems like they're saving this for Wembley, right? Seems like they're saving for Wembley. Between Takeshita and Okada.
I think they're going to do in New York.
They could. They could.
Yeah.
I mean, it's big enough, they could. But, ultimately, if they had Don Callis put both them niggas in a This Is Our Get Along t-shirt, and ride this out for a year, and made this a tag team champion, the matches would go the fuck off every single time.
Yeah,
every single time. But that's not. I don't think that's gonna happen. But either way, I just wanted to point that out. That's how good they've been in their limited action together.
Yeah.
While they're bickering and they're hitting each other on accident, and then they're trying to leave each other to die out there. They're having some of the best tag matches ever.
Yeah. This was incredible. Like I was 5 stars off the rip with this.
Yeah.
I thought like I just was like, how can the Young Bucks continue just being this great? Like, like Matt's already 40, like Nick's like 36. They got 20 years in the game, and there's no slowdown whatsoever. Like, just machines. Like people should be thankful they get to watch the young fucking Bucks. I swear to God, bro.
I am. They're the best tag team. They're the best tag team I've ever seen, and I don't even love their style like that.
Like
that's how good they are. I don't love their style. They're the best tag team I've ever seen.
Up next, Ricochet versus Jericho. James. Jericho is excellence. I can't believe they counted him out again, James. He comes out here after a year off and rolls out an ethical 4 1/4 match on you niggas.
All right, I'm not going as high as you are on this shit, but it was a very good damn match. And it was played off of the part where, like, people think that Jericho is washed, and he's doing something like, no, nigga, I'm not washed, but I'll play along with y'all dumbasses if you want to do that.
No, I'm not washed, baby. Like, it was funny because, we were watching with Marcus, and he was looking at Jericho about to do his hurricanrana. They thought he was going to mess it up. I knew exactly what the fuck was about to happen. I was like, nah, he got this. He's in good shape.
He did botch that step up to get there before he did it, though.
Yeah.
And to be fair, like, Marcus ain't seen Jericho wrestle in 20 years. He's like, how is he still doing this?
So, like, I saw this nigga did the lion salt with ease, and I'm like, it's just the weight. Like, it's just the weight. Like, and perhaps, like, not having been active in the ring for a year, there was a tad bit of, like, slowness at the beginning. But once they got going, you could see, like, Jericho's mind just for laying out the matches. Ricochet, perfect worker to be in there with him, and like
that was a breach for Ricochet.
Oh my God, Ricochet could do this like
easy stuff for him.
Like you can put Ricochet in there with all them. I felt like if this was Ricochet in Mexico wrestling on them Sunday shows with the old luchadors, like
super easy for him.
That would be like what that was. So
hell, there's still look. I mean, I wouldn't mind a Ricochet versus Mystico match in Arena Mexico. Like whenever if they ever go back, if they ever go. I mean, obviously, I think next time they ever go back to if they ever go back to Mexico, they're going to do another MJF match except on AEW television. But I'm saying, like, if once we're done with that, like, I would like to see Ricochet in Mexico. I would like to see.
Yeah,
that'd be super easy for him.
Ricochet gets the win, clean, beats Jericho with his own move. The demand has been fucking Jericho up.
I mean, there was interference.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He beats him with his own move, like 1, 2, 3, and then like he gets destroyed the next time we see them on the show. And then the demand killed Jericho, and he does the fucking lion salt again, calls it the Rick assault. This is like A to B easy pro wrestling. I love a few like this where a nigga's like, I'm gonna take your move, beat you with it, and like I'm gonna just keep doing it to you just to fuck with you.
And it leads to one of those. This could be similar to the MJF feud where like he gets another match with Ricochet, Ricochet beats him, and then like Ricochet wins all the matches for the final one, and Jericho just wins the last one. This could be setting that up, right? And I gotta say, watching that on their promo on Dynamite, where he's glowed in front of Ricochet, or Ricochet glowed in front of Jericho, and then Jericho proceeds to call him bald, and I'm like, brother, if not for you taking that trip, you'd be in the same boat. You are not better than Ricochet. You are not better than Trevor Mann. How dare you?
Stand up for your kind, Jan. Stand up for your kind.
Like, nigga, you just fighting to be. Look, you just fighting not to be one of the members. Your ass is part of the Brotherhood too. Stop playing. But yeah, man. Like after this match, I thought to myself, or actually after Wednesday, I thought to myself, you know what? It's crazy how Jericho in like 3 weeks back or 4 weeks back, 3 weeks back, has done more to get over Ricochet than the whole Hurt Business shit did to help the demand or Ricochet in that whole entire super long fucking thing. It's amazing.
Incredible.
It's crazy to say that, especially considering Jericho's wife was at the Capitol in January. What else do you need from the brothers? Help Ricochet. What's happening? What's going on?
Look, man, I always say this. Jericho has a great track record with black wrestlers.
I know that.
Like, he just does. In front of the camera or behind the camera. Unless, I can't think of something like, I know he had words with MVP one time. But
let me rephrase that. He has better than most of the white wrestlers that we know.
Yes.
It ain't going to be perfect because, well, you know, white supremacy, but you get my point.
What would a Triple H and Jericho versus look like in that? Like,
oh my God, Triple H would be done by round 3.
I think there's a versus for every topic. I swear to God.
It's even funnier if you go. It's even way funnier if you go not just black people, minorities, just pure minorities. Like I got Ray, I got Eddie. He keep going. He's like, God damn, I got Ultimate Guerrero.
Yeah.
Like, what you got, Triple H? Head scratcher. Is one of these white wrestlers with a crazy bronzer count? Does Ric Flair count? Does Randy Orton count?
Up next, we had Darby Allin and Andrade beat the shit out of each other in this match. This nigga Andrade is a man possessed at the moment. He's peaking, I think. And I'm not talking about him disrobing and then, none of that. Like, no. Like, I'm talking about this nigga when he steps in the ring. He's everything that I ever saw for him potential wise right now. Like he's finally got there.
He's wrestling like a man that knows where that the grass ain't greener and this is where he belongs.
He's
wrestling like he knows there's no other options for him.
Yeah, so like we talked about it earlier, kind of Darby got the win there to set him up. for the title match that he had. Up next, we had AEW Tag Team Championship match, FTR versus Cage and Cope. And like I said, I liked this match. I thought it was. I thought FTR did a great job, like holding all this together, healing, coming up with creative spots, creative subversion.
Good job of setting up the multiple hot tags. Because sometimes when there's multiple hot tag matches, it feels lazy as shit. Yeah. I thought this one actually did a good job of like making them feel different. Because
they got me to bite on a false finish, I think, towards the end. And like I said, this is probably the best 2v2 regular rules tag match that Cope and Christian ever done touched. So I know they're probably happy.
I have to look into that. That would be crazy if like they never had like a regular rules match between the Hardys that was really good. I'd be surprised. You might be right, but I just find that hard to imagine.
I swear all them shits got ladders in it, dog. All the matches got fucking ladders in them. I swear. Hold on.
A lot of them do.
I got the Cope and Christian cage match pulled up right here, right?
Yeah.
So let me put the match picture. I sure can. Hold on one second. I'm just trying to get these.
This is very, very mean spirited.
Yeah. So gotta say, man, there's just a tag team on it. So let's get it. We've got the Cope and Christian. Let's put him here. All right. So we got the Cope and Christian cage match there. So you got your, I guess we can sort it by Dave or whatever the fuck.
No, fuck that. Sorted by
cage match. Yeah, it is sorted by cage match. Oh shit. Hold on. Shit. It went backwards. Okay. So obviously these are TLC matches.
Yep.
I can pretty much tell you that's all TLC.
And
so
also
right
there's like
here,
multiple teams, so that doesn't count.
Yep. So right here is Christian. I think this is that No Mercy ladder match.
Okay.
Tag team ladder.
Okay.
Christian and Edge versus The Rock. That's a handicap match, bro. On this bitch.
What the fuck?
Christian, Edge, and Jeff and Matt steel cage match right there. Looks like Dave gave it a 3.5. They gave it a 7.97. We already in the sevens, James. Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho versus Christian and Edge. Okay, that has a 7.33 tag team match. That looks like a regular 2v2 right here. Okay. Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho. That might be their best one right there.
And then right above it is a match that just happened over the weekend.
Boom. Point proven. So, that's cool.
Hey. Rich.
Was that nasty?
That was very nasty. And now I'm thinking to make it even nastier, right? All right, Rich. ALK, Julian, Shiri, or them niggas.
Oh my God.
Right?
Like, yeah, what do you think?
My Hime, Himeka and Micah versus or them niggas.
Give me Himeka and Micah all day.
It's finna get nasty, bro. Like, hell, O2 line, Amasaki and Azumi. Momo and Azumi. Right, like this.
Nah. Yeah, incredibly overrated there, I would say, for a CNC.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, Rich. My bad. I totally forgot. I forgot. FWC.
Oh yeah.
Guma and Hazuki. They smoking them niggas.
Put the bear, the bear out here.
Them niggas. Are you kidding me? Oh man, Bishamon killing them. Yeah.
TNT title match up next, Casino Gauntlet. No real surprises in this thing, but it was like a parade of guys that are just solid. Kevin Knight crowned with the TNT belt. Very happy to see it. Happy for Kev.
Yes. I need him to finish that against everybody that was in that battle royal. I need to see him versus Ciampa. I need to see him versus Mike Bailey. I need to see him especially versus Bandito. Did you see Bandito did that shit again? Like the match he had against Andrade, where where Andrade was on the ground and he did the 21 plex for a guy that was on the ground. He did that to a nigga that was in the middle of a pin attempt. He pulled him off for a near fall at 2.
I need to see him and Speedball Mike Bailey do it. Like they were kind of staring each other down a little bit.
Yes.
I would honestly, if it was me, that's one that you stretch out and do it all in. Like, and
I don't disagree.
1-on-1, and let them go for it. They've been together, like, by that time it would be like a year and a half. Like, let Kevin go nuts, and then at the last one it'd be like, hey man, you got one more guy to face.
Yeah.
Me.
Hey, here's one thing I want to point out, right? So Jet Speed was great. They should have got a tag team title run. But it was at a time where FTR was cooking, and they lost. And then you had them in there with Hurt Syndicate, and then, Hurt Syndicate went away. And the way it's looking is like, all right, it looks like we're headed to some type of three-way thing with Copen, Christian, and FTR and the Young Bucks at Wembley. Well, it seems like they, Tony Khan, whoever's involved, like, see something in this opportunity where there's no Kyle Fletcher to try this out. Kyle Fletcher can come back and be elevated out above the TNT thing where he should have been anyway. And you can now start with the Kevin Knights and the Speedballs, and you can take this to Wembley if you want to. And they're in better position than they were been as a tag team because, like, they should have been tag team champions. They never got it.
Yeah, that was
so it didn't work out.
Kind of a missed opportunity, I think.
Yeah.
While they're, Hurt Syndicate got a run though, Yeah. So,
but notice, like I said, like Hurt Syndicate goes away, and Jet Speed ends up elevating. Interesting how that works.
World Women's Title match: Tekla and Jamie Hayter went exactly as we predicted.
Yeah, hit each other hard, have a really good match.
Yeah, I love this. I think Tekla's doing a great job right now. Jamie Hayter still didn't lose a thing. I think from this, Tekla with the creative kind of finish to get out the back door with the belt. And I don't know. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people. I guess this must be how the division is being booked, but I'm actually seeing when I'm seeing the performances for the wrestlers, like the women's wrestlers that are going on right now, like, I'm loving what they're doing. Like, I know a lot of people, like, they're probably missing Toni Storm, they're probably missing Mercedes seeing them, but like, people are acting like this thing has fallen into the abyss. The Divine Dominion tag match that was on the pre-show. Oh my God! I'll take Divine Dominion over fucking Cope and Christian Cage. Fuck.
So, I think something has to do with when you had Mercedes, you had Toni Storm around, you had to have more TV programs for the women going on concurrently.
True.
So when the two biggest stars in the division are both off TV, then it gets shrunk back down to being stuck to 9, 20, or whatever else, and only being like 2 segments at most on TV. It seems. So I think that is a part of the frustration, or that is a fundamental problem that is happening. But the quality of the TV, the quality of the matches and the programs you're getting has not suffered, in my opinion. It's just you wish there were 3 as opposed to just 1 in the singles women's division right now.
Right.
Or like whatever, like off the wall thing that, or not off the wall, like some type of like random Lucy thing that like Marina is doing now that like Tony's done. Or not done, but off TV.
Right.
She didn't die. She didn't get named.
I thought this was really good, and I have no desire for Tekla to lose his belt anytime soon. I don't.
Oh, think. I mean, I have a perfect opponent for her to lose it to, and a perfect location for her to lose it at.
I mean, lay it on me.
I mean, given how well she's done, I think she deserves to keep this thing to Wembley, and she drops it off to Mercedes.
I sure would love that. Like, I think that'd be nice.
Yeah. It'd be a great full circle moment, considering the first time Mercedes on AEW television, she was ended up sitting up the ringside at Wembley, you know, and then she teased for months as if like, you know, she just on Tony Khan's television and let people think she was gonna show up at a Rumble one, and then no, we're not doing it. We're doing big business in Boston, and then the rest is history.
Yep. John Moxley versus go ahead.
And if Mercedes and Will Ospreay were to both win at Wembley, we can get Will doing the Mercedes dance again. You know, that'd be fun. That's always fun.
Ospreay really should be courting all. You know, I always say Charlotte's running for office. Like Ospreay should be courting all fan bases. It's the only way he gonna beat this shit, dog. He gonna need a coalition. You know, like
oh man, so this thing gotta be 08 Obama, huh? All right.
Yes.
This is the most diverse fan base we've ever seen in pro wrestling. What the fuck?
Up next, we got John Moxley versus Will Ospreay. In a match that I think we both called for Moxley to win. You just never can underestimate John Moxley. The odds makers had it the other way. I said otherwise. It just felt like the pattern there was Ospreay returns on TV, he wins, pay-per-view, lose. Moxley or Ospreay, no real business with the Continental belt.
Right.
He can see Moxley down the road without it on the line. He can see it without a belt there, period, depending on what Moxley does next. They want to start Ospreay with a little bit of struggle. I will say on Wednesday I was quite annoyed with the doctors being in the ring and the doctors there as the ring out commercial spot. Like, there is something to be said about Danielson, Omega, and now Ospreay, and the injury, like it just hitting you over the head. Like, it's like, all right, bro, you was cleared, dog. Like what the fuck? So like it just feels like it's overdone, and I just hope he just doesn't get lost in it again.
Oh, that's I guarantee you that she'll be snapped out of by the time we get to the Owen.
Yeah, please. Like, but this match was sensational. Oh my god, I was off the fucking charts. I fucking missed watching Will Ospreay wrestle, and Moxley looked great in this.
Yeah, he did. I mean, we've seen it before that they can have great matches, and this is another one, and they'll continue to have some.
That 18 minutes that it went, it felt like this. I'm like, man, I wish more matches were like 18 minutes long. Like, that Continental belt is like a special kind of thing, and it fit perfect for this format. Like, because they started doing the time calls, and you knew it wasn't gonna be all right, lock in, whatever. You were like, okay, there's like shit is about to happen, and it's about to happen right now. Like, who can essentially get to the room first on another one.
That was the thing that was fun to explain to Marcus while he's watching the show with us, is that like they and Alex is like, they have the time, because they're only familiar with American wrestling, like explaining like in Japan there's time limits, and then like how they work time limits is like they will give you a time limit draw, so, depending on the promotion, every blue moon or occasionally or with regularity, to remind you that like sometimes you go down the wire, and it builds anticipation that you're expecting, the conclusion is going to be, very desperate. The wrestle very desperately, and then like they noticed it once I mentioned to them like how they picked it up, because they were desperate to like they're desperate to win before going to a time limit draw. It was like, yeah, and they were like, okay, I see why this could, the way you utilize that's better than just all these matches have any old regular time frame, and they can go as long as they need to go in whatever. Like, it's a nice tool put in your toolbox to be like, to add urgency and add excitement to a conclusion.
Yeah. There was a spot in this match that broke the dumbest amongst us brains. Was
it the tombstone, or was it the pile driver on the steps?
No, actually, it was the paradigm shift, and then Will pops to his feet and then gives him the hidden blade, which made the crowd come completely unglued. Yep. But you watching decided to hit the mute button on your television screen, your computer, your phone, wherever you watched this. You decided to ignore the reaction to everything you saw, people going insane, and like the body technique it takes to fucking do that, and like the creativity is all bad.
Also,
I hate you motherfuckers.
Can we also talk about like how the match starts, where immediate they charge each other, and Moxley gets leveled completely by
with the hidden blade
immediately. That was great.
Yeah,
that shit set the tone.
He didn't fucking do no lockup. He didn't come out there and like, you know, roll out the ring. Like Moxley didn't roll out the ring or whatever to start the match. No, let's get to the smoke.
Yeah.
Mr. Boo said, how did you feel about the finish with all the paradigm shifts? Loved it. Like,
I loved how he got. I loved the how he kicked out of the last one for the finish, and then he had to give him an actual big elevated one.
This is what I mean by a real definitive win, like beating somebody. Like this is what did not happen on Wednesday. Yep. So.
And even then, like Will Ospreay still has the excuse of losing, and he doesn't come away from it in a bad way because like he's recovering from a neck injury that he's apparently barely cleared to return from, and clearly is still suffering from coming back too early. But he wanted his vengeance, and that was his mistake, thinking he can come back this early and do it. That's a story. That's a story. So that's a good story.
Trios match, as we mentioned. Kyle O'Reilly back in Vancouver, got a nice reaction. The dogs seem so mid-level,
brother.
They seem so Memphis, so Collision.
When they came out, they're very Collision. When they came out, and they set up the whole entrance ramp area to like set up like a sitcom, like a 90s TV sitcom, and out come through the door is Kyle O'Reilly. He gets like the pop, like he's he's Kramer from Seinfeld, or he's what's her name, Christina Applegate's character in Married with Children, right? Where you go, woo, happy to see this person. And they come down for their entrance, and then out come the dogs, and they basically beat up the set. They beat up the door Finley beats up the door that Kyle O'Reilly came through, and then on the couch that Orange Cassidy was sitting on after the fact, coming down, they cut this angle where Gabe Kidd turns his back to the camera, and we are to believe that he took a piss on this particular couch. And it's like, I know you didn't just expose yourself in front of thousands of people. What are you doing?
Yeah.
For the guy that is the I'm real, fuck everything. This was one of the dorkiest things I've ever seen. Like whatever. Like I don't know, bro. I don't get it. Whatever. Maybe somebody could tell me why they liked it. I didn't like this. So. But they went out there, had the match, and it was just a match. It wasn't anything special. It was something that could have been on TV. But I'm glad that O'Reilly's back, and maybe we can figure something out with with Orange Cassidy, because for a while since he came back, they haven't used him like they've used him historically. It's like, maybe we can build something to this trios shit right now, because it kind of been playing a hot potato with it. And obviously, it's a trios title, so they're going to an extent.
I actually kind of am in favor of that, because rather than them not doing shit with those belts, which they spent many a year doing, at least it's something.
Yeah, but I'm saying at least when you with Orange Cassidy there, and also Riley and Strong, make that a hot match property for now. That's what I'm saying. If you're not gonna put storyline time towards that, cool. Make it a hot match belt.
Yeah. And give them time, to do something, and not like the fucking death match or the death spot in these pay-per-views.
Well, they only had one woman's match on there, so that's what they decided to put that there.
Yeah.
So people talk about that death spot. That shit's real as steel.
Yep. World title match: MJF versus Kenny Omega. 38 minutes. Really great match. I thought Kenny was out of this world performance-wise. This nigga was doing the golden triangle and shit. I was like,
yeah,
all right, man.
I mean, in the Go Home show, I believe, or whatever else, it was MJF was making references to Ibushi being beat up and all that kind of stuff. So Kenny Omega said, "I got something for you. I'm gonna give you some. I'm gonna give you some Kota Ibushi."
Ooh, baby.
He gave him Murder Okada. I mean, he gave Murder Omega with just like the Kota Ibushi shit used to do to Okada. So like, yeah, like you beat his ass in the corner and the ref, dead behind the eyes, like he's just disassociated. He's beating the living shit out of somebody. He forgot that this is a match, and this is now actually like this is now for survival. That's what this turned into. He beat that man like this was for survival. It wasn't for no belt. It wasn't for no competition or exhibition. I'm beating this nigga like my life depends on it, and his life being extinguished saves my life. That's how he's beating on this nigga.
Yeah. I thought MJF was good too. I thought that I love Kenny's gear that he came out in. That's some of the best Omega gear that I feel like I've seen in years. Like he actually spent some bread. So shout out to him for that. Classic Kenny Omega stuff, like setting up this table in the beginning of the match that doesn't break somehow, leaving it there, ends up going through it at the end. Of course, like I think the finish took it down a little bit. There were people that didn't really like this match.
Well, I understand. I get why. There is when MJF has a long match, there's some oomph missing, like similar to the match against Page at pay-per-view before. He lays. I mean, hell, you can talk about that match that went basically an hour with Ospreay, right? Mm-hmm. Like he is 90% of the way to those guys, but there's whatever that percentage is missing, whether it's 5%, whether it's 10%, there's something in the. I can't quite explain. I don't know if it's pacing. I don't know if it's the overacting or whatever else. Him being such a ham, but there is a sincerity that is missing in his matches where it feels like this is a guy. It feels fake, and I don't mean that bad because it's all fake. But I mean it feels like there's a heart and there's a soul missing compared to watching Kenny Omega have this same exact match with John Moxley or with Will Ospreay or with Swerve. It just something's missing there.
I mean, maybe it's the fact that you feel like MJF is non-threatening in a sense. Like, he's not going to beat your ass. Like,
that is true. I've always felt that way. Like, he's clearly, like, the yelling and screaming, I don't buy that he can lift all the weights he wants to, whatever else. Like, I don't buy the part where he's a... And, I mean, also, it's a part of the character that rubs off on that. But, like, even when it comes down to it, like, we'll have heels that'll still... scrap it out. It feels like it's a part by design to make you feel like he's soft, but it even comes off in like the layouts of some of these matches at times.
Yeah, like he
he's a tough motherfucker.
He's got moves.
He knew he was gonna break his hip when he did that dumb shit against Jay White, and he still did it anyway. Yeah, but there's just something that's missing, and I mean, and it's even different from like when I talk about like my little mini critiques about like the Young Bucks matches feeling too. Less like lack of ruggedness. Mm-hmm. It's just something even beyond that that's just missing. Like it feel like it's almost like okay. So one thing I know about Swerve is like Swerve clearly builds matches around bullet points. Like he wrestles like a deathmatch wrestler. Like we do this and then we get to this by getting to this and then later get to this. Right. He has that too, but like there's something missing. In the connective tissue going through all these bullet points where sometimes it feels like it's missing something, like it's missing originality at times. It feels like he's watching these people's matches. He's like, I'm going to take X,
and then he's sampling.
I'm going to take X, Y, and Z from these people's prior matches and just do it. And it's like, well, you got to come up with something original for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, my original mentality is I'll do the finish with whatever cheat thing I do. It's like, okay.
So like to take it back to the Page match, like I feel like there were large gaps of nothing happening in like those setups
in between the setups to get to like whatever he did with Swerve 2 years ago.
Yeah,
see what I mean?
It was just like okay, but I think like I think he wanted to try to have his Kenny Omega title match. And
he did a good job.
He did a good job. It just didn't reach. It didn't reach that level.
Kenny Omega main event title match on a pay-per-view is like you're expecting a match of the year contender, and this was not that. Yeah. Great match. Go back and watch it. I don't rewatch matches at this point in time, but like it's not. I would be against rewatching this, but it's not. Look, bro,
It's not one of those.
I saw Kenny Omega in the 2018 G1, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's like I know what it looks like, and it's just short of that. It's just short of that.
Yeah.
Like no skin off your back or anything, but it's like
I would put this with like the Okada All In match, where it's like it's a great match in a vacuum against that guy's prior history though. It's a step below. Just a step below.
Yeah. You know, it has an 8.48 rating on Cage Match.
4.5. That's about where I put it.
I think Davey.
I mean, because it didn't go really long.
Quarters. Yeah,
How long did it go?
38
minutes.
It gave him 38 minutes. I'm like, if they give you 38 minutes with Kenny Omega on a pay per view, like you should be producing a match of the year contender,
Right.
and
like,
this wasn't.
Right, and like honestly, like you know how I am. Like unless you, if you go past 30 minutes, you better have a very very good reason. And not really, but I wasn't offended by it.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
I didn't feel like it was. I didn't feel like it was getting to that like level of the Page match of long. Like I think there's
I agree.
I think there's like a difference.
It's
like
5 minutes earlier.
It's like I can tell when they're at 35, and I'm like, okay, and it feels good, and I'm like, okay, you just got to end it relatively soon. But when you go past 40, I'm like, oh, hold on, I see, I feel, and I don't notice 35. I'm like, oh, they're going long, like, and I don't know, it's just weird.
And I knew, I never felt like they went long or they went past they went past the peak. But I also did recognize like this is clearly past 30 minutes, and I don't. There's no knocking against that, but like just me generally. Like from watching Stardom, like if you go past 30, you better have a good damn reason. You better have a overtime, or I always say you better have an overtime like Shuri and Utami, where they're going to be the best wrestler you see for 13 minutes straight, and then they pass out because they beat the hell out of each other. It's a really high bar. It's really hard if you watch everything around it. But either way, or you watch a lot of stuff from different places. But like, yeah, either way, great match. Just I think MJF is better at 25 than 40. I think we know that now. I think we have enough examples of like, hey man, these matches are great, but we've seen him with less time be more effective.
Right.
And look, past 30 is deep, or past 25 minutes is deep water.
Look, they gave him less time on Wednesday, so
all right, it's something that's an extreme. We're talking about extreme examples. That's nasty. I get you. Yeah, I get you.
All right, that's Dynasty. Hope you guys like that. Any thoughts, James, on WrestleMania 42 before it happens this weekend?
So I've seen a lot of stuff, bro. I went to ESPN.com and like, I wonder if it's still there, but like ESPN.com had a big, like the front page thing was like predictions and what match is going to steal the show, and like they were big on Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar, and I was like.
Did they not know this shit's going 7 minutes?
I mean, Brock Lesnar's had some killer matches going sub 10, but the thing is, like, do they know that Brock Lesnar hasn't really had a match like that in like God knows how many years?
Yeah, I don't think they're cognizant of this.
Yeah, so there's that, and then there's also the part where it's like, there's a lot of people talking about Obafemi and this and the third, and it's like, all right. I'll believe it when I see Brock Lesnar put him over.
They got to show me on that one. I am not going over the ledge like, yeah, it's happening. No. Like they have burned that goodwill.
Yeah, they have not earned like, oh yeah, this is definitely this guy. And also, you know how they are, the way they book, they're like, this is this guy, so we're going to beat him for 3 years till he finally reaches the mountaintop, or we'll go past that point and then we'll never do it, and then we'll give him a crown achievement with a fucking US title, and then the fans start saying that guy's overpushed. He's Sammy Hogan, which is fucking ridiculous. This nigga didn't win a single WWE World title for like his first 5 years on the main roster. Now all of a sudden he's Hogan. Get out of here.
What do you make of this? I don't think I asked you about this Pat McAfee shit.
In regards to what? The CM Punk part or the Randy Orton part? What?
Yo, I watched the Pat McAfee, Cody, and Randy Orton segment and got like this sick perversion of enjoyment out of it, as like they broke every like bad work shoot promo rule there is, and like just the overacting of Pat McAfee in Cody Rhodes' face. I thought Cody did a good job, but man, this is all like these are the signs of desperation, brother. Like that's what this feels like.
I find it amazing that Cody wins has, the great setup for WrestleMania 39 with Roman. Then he loses. And then the next year they want to move him the fuck out the way so they can go with Rock versus Roman. But eventually cooler heads prevailed / crowd reaction said fuck that, and they went ahead and had one of the best matches in the history of WrestleMania, right? And then the next year they do that with John Cena turning heel and Travis Scott and the final boss Rock, who is doing heart or Weinsteinian things and wanting people's soul and touching people's cheeks of us that is his subordinates. And then now we're here where this thing should be Cody Rhodes, the number 2 guy at worst in the company. The guy that basically saved the renaissance of WWE and of the mid 2020s, and he's reached this level, and now he's facing his mentor, the guy that he was a lackey for in a faction.
Yep, that wasn't good enough, James.
And what they decided was, no, we need Pat McAfee involved in this because I don't know why. What the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
They're sprinkling some, celebrity bullshit from WrestleMania on it. It's like, bro, I hate to tell you this. Don't let the documentaries fool you, right? When they were at WrestleMania 11...
Bro, I watched WrestleMania 11 like 3 weeks ago.
What is wrong with you? Why do you do this to yourself? Why are you always watching New Generation bullshit, Rich? Why do you do when it's like, okay, we're going to go to Connecticut with Bam Bam Bigelow and have him face Lawrence Taylor in 1995. 1995, not 1990, 1995.
There was some match that I watched on the show that was like, you know what? This is actually all right. Hold on.
Was it Diesel and Sean?
That was fine. It was something else.
Okay.
I think it might have been Lex Luger and the British Bulldog teaming up. No,
Who did they face?
No, it was Owen Hart and Yokozuna against the Smoking Guns. I think.
Oh my god.
I think.
Whoo.
I watched Undertaker and Bundy, Razor Ramon and Jeff Jarrett with an awful disqualification finish.
Was it any good?
It was all right. I'm into Razor.
I mean, Jarrett's not a bad worker.
Jarrett was cool.
Look down there. Look, wherever that was in the mid card is right where he belongs.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I had threw that on while I was actually rearranging the office.
Okay. Yeah, but it's just like it's like every time you have these moments of them trying stuff, like when they did WrestleMania, the shit was Donald Trump versus Vince for the hair, like that shit worked. Mr. T, that shit works. Mr. T was gigantic superstar, right?
Don't you love how people just blanket? There've always been celebrities at WrestleMania, and it's like
there's levels of celebrities.
It's how you use them. It's like they lead a concept. It's like where they're at on the show. If it makes sense to be a main event thing, this nigga has been a commentator for fucking 5 years. Like,
and honestly, with what is going on with the Manosphere and Manosphere adjacent shit, and ESPN going all in with that, with White Manosphere and Pat McAfee, and Black Manosphere when they went with Shannon Sharp, and until they had to get rid of him, right? And this point,
I hope we're not Manosphere.
Huh? I
hope we're not Manosphere.
No, I wouldn't do this show if we were Manosphere. What the fuck? So, like we were far from fresh and fit. So, Okay, get it the fuck together. So, like when you have this stuff happening, and then you also can throw in Joe Rogan and like UFC, and then like the ridiculous boxing matches or whatever else, like all this combat sports stuff that's a part of this manosphere. And then you see ESPN getting into it, and then you see WWE gets pay-per-view gets sent to ESPN, and now like McAfee, who has a show, like it's a synergy brand thing, but it's also manosphere adjacent shit. And then you throw in like all the black wrestlers that have been sent to all the black podcasts that are black manosphere adjacent, like Bun Podcast, like Cameron shit, like 520.
Yep.
Right, and it's like
I see what y'all doing.
I see what you're doing, but like after seeing like what happened originally to UFC, and then seeing what happened to ESPN, it's like I see what's going on with WWE. Do y'all not see it? And it's like, all right, man. Like now McAfee, after they just did this shit with Travis Scott, and obviously Travis Scott is not nearly as reliable as Pat McAfee. Matt McAfee knows what he's doing, but it's like this did not need this. There is no promo that Pat McAfee's ever going to cut that is going to get this program more over than whatever Cody or Randy Orton has to say about one another, or what this person means to them, or the betrayal involved in it. So what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, it's
especially for a night one main event. This is Saturday. These some Saturday WrestleMania niggas.
Saturday WrestleMania niggas. This is all timer, boy.
Cameron got
coming through.
Jay Uso, but he still was always, hey man, I'm gonna get off whatever shit I really gotta say, and I'll do your angle, whatever else. But yeah, man. And the funny part about the Jay Uso shit was like, he said he was Saturday. He's in Saturday WrestleMania niggas. Is like, bro, he like main event Jay Uso was a Saturday main event nigga last year, but he wasn't even in the main event. He was in the fucking opener.
Yeah, he's an opener again. I believe it with on the ESPN joint. So
no. That's
actually he's on ESPN 2. He's on ESPN 2.
ESPN 2 is a pre-show shit, ain't it?
I don't know if they're necessarily marketing it as a pre-show. They're saying the first two matches of WrestleMania.
There's a preview to get you to buy it, right?
Right. The first hour of WrestleMania is on ESPN 2, and then day 2, the real day, is on ESPN 1. So either way, Saturday WrestleMania niggas, they ain't never outrunning that one. Not them, not they fans. Nothing. That shit don't make sense to normal people.
Now you know why they're on 2, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, like it's like the playoffs. The first day of the playoffs start, right?
Yeah, it's LeBron Durant at prime time on Saturday. We're not even gonna fuck around and mess around and put this on ESPN and have ESPN versus ABC. We put that shit on 2. We do this shit on for like an hour to be moving it on. Get it out of here. And like, bro, Sunday. You know what Sunday is? What the prime time Sunday is?
Sunday's prime time. I don't.
It's Spurs versus whatever playing team.
Oh, the Blazers or
no, not Blazers.
It's not Blazers.
They punned on that shit. The league, ABC, ESPN, Disney, they punned on Saturday night or on Sunday night. They're like we put Wembanyama on 9:00. Bro, I gotta tell you, that would deter me. I would have 2 screens on. I am watching Wembanyama first playoff game. You better believe it. Look, whatever they got going on with WWE and CM Punk and CM Punk and Roman Reigns, maybe I don't give a fuck compared to historically where I was with Wembanyama his first playoff game. Sorry, bro. Sorry.
I'm LeBron versus KD. You brought it up, and I'm just here to say, I ain't worried at all. The Los Angeles Lakers should roll. We got the king. LeBron. Don't really need teammates. I always heard.
Why don't you go further? Say you demand a title. Anything less than a title's a bust, right?
I'm not gonna say that because like I'm a act like I'm a LeBron fan. Just getting to the finals would be cool, and then he could lose in the finals.
They're not getting to the finals with the Spurs and the Nuggets in the
But stay
Thunder
with me. But
without
stay
the
with me.
punches and Austin Reeves.
Stay with me. You know, I done seen them carry before. You know, they always talk about 2018 and in the East, and
that was 8 years ago.
You know, that
was 8 years ago.
I've been told this is the GOAT, so I'm ready to see it. You know, Laker Nation, you want to be a real Laker? You want to get
win a second title?
You want to be accepted? Man, it's you. You still got some help. You got former number one. You got former number 1 overall pick DeAndre Ayton on the team with you, a big man. You know, you got JJ Redick. You know, 50
coaching, not playing, but coaching.
You know, coaching, probably better coaching player at this point.
Hey,
you know,
I gotta say, if JJ Redick, 2014 JJ Redick will be the second best player on this team as constructed right now, right?
Possibly. But
bro, I can see it right now. LeBron will be spamming the fuck out of floppy, getting that nigga open for 3. Like, you remember I used to use Channing Frye and Kyle Korver? He'd be using that nigga to death like that.
So, you know, we got, you know, like I said, we got in his prime, 27 years old, peak of his powers, number 1 overall pick, DeAndre Ayton. You got the 6'8", you know, man from Nihon. You know, you got Rui Hachimura there. You got your own offspring, Bronny James, who be killing the G League. You know, you got him in a lineup possibly. You got Jackson Hayes, who may or may not, you know, should be playing, but he is. You got Luke Kennard, who broke the Ohio scoring record that LeBron James held and is a sharpshooter and led the league in 3-point shooting. You got Jake LaRavia, Dalton Connect, man.
Dalton Connect, who ain't
you got former defensive player of the year Marcus Smart on your side. Man, it ain't no excuses. Even God couldn't help the Houston Rockets with the Lakers right now.
That is disgusting. This man is flat out rooting against his own team.
KD is over, dog. LeBron gonna beat you straight up without help. Like, the teams is even. You know, we gonna see. We gonna see who really gonna do it with the even squads.
Oh my God!
I'm just glad we got the king, man. You know, boy. I'm just glad we got the king. This shows who the GOAT is. You know.
Mm-hmm. Now the funny part about it is, like, if either one of Reeves or LeBron was still around, I still think the Lakers would win this series because of how bad the Rockets are offensively in crunch time. Because, like, if they put Reed Shepherd out there on the offense, then there's your weak link to pick on defense all the time, right? And then and then outside of the other options really is like Durant trying to run the offense, which we saw last time they played. They hit Durant at the top of the key, kept turning the ball over and over at the top of the key. And
don't you find it funny how Kevin Durant has played with like 3 or 4 Hall of Fame point guards throughout his whole career and has ended up with none?
Well, I mean, this is one of those things where where the league has changed and like it's more pronounced. Like back then when he was in his early prime, it didn't matter. Like he just comes off the screen, comes get the ball, and then if Tony Allen is in his jersey, then Westbrook goes and makes whatever bad decision he makes after willing down a bad shot clock or a low shot clock. Now, like, you have the big wings, whether it's Tatum or it's someone like Kawhi, or it's, you know, Harden or Ant or LeBron or whatever else, and like, or Jaylen Brown, and like, they run offense. They're not the point guard, not the full table setters, but like, or LeBron is, but LeBron historically is, but it's like, LeBron kind of changes where like big wings get the ball and they, you know, they kind of make this shit obsolete to where like we have a guy that's a full on setup man. Like Steph Curry and LeBron both basically render point guards irrelevant. Like, because, you know, back in the day, Steph and Westbrook both would have been considered combo guards. And then LeBron, like, there's no need for, oh shit, it's already announced, huh? Let's go.
International Championship. So, May 24th, Double or Nothing.
Okay. So, yeah, like, with Durant had got better at it, you know, in the mid-teens, but he was never great at it. Like, I thought he was a better decision maker when it came to like drive on the drive than Westbrook was, like before he left. But it was hard to really tell because there was no space. Yeah, Andre Roberson out there, and but now he's on a team again with just as bad space as back then. But he ain't got no Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson, and Ibaka, freaks of nature that can go and go rebound, and Steven Adams. Now it's just all right. We got Amin Thompson. We got.
Don't he got Steven Adams?
He's hurt.
Oh,
he's hurt. So, and that's a big reason. That also hurt their offense because he's a big body screen. But like, their offense just always gets boggled down, and then so it basically comes down to if we're gonna put Shepard on the floor, it's Durant and it's Amin Thompson. Mm-hmm. That might beat you. That might get you past this round, but next round when they play OKC or the Spurs, whatever, they getting smacked. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean they're both flawed teams. Obviously more flawed for the Lakers because the 2 or 3 best players are missing, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, Clint Capella versus. Murray made a great point. Clint Capella versus DeAndre Ayton. Who knew that was gonna turn into a series?
That should be it.
Yeah, they both got the same stats, and then it's gonna be funny. It is like Clint Capella gonna have his go on to next series. Be like, see, ain't no wrong being Clint Capella because you Clint Capella.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, what do you move to the East? Because the East pretty easy to me.
Who's the top team in the East?
I'm sorry, Detroit.
Because the Pistons fell, right? Or they got Cade back, right?
Yeah, but he's coming back like
from a collapsed lung,
right?
Bro,
After being out for like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, that don't look good. I don't think I would bring him back.
They might advance through the first round, but then what?
Yeah, like they out in the second, like easy.
So I mean, either way, they let's say they get past it. Okay, they beat Cleveland or Knicks or whoever the fuck, and then they got to face presumably the Celtics. I think the Celtics finna walk through the East. I thought the same thing last year. I was wrong, but
man,
Jason should not be this fucking good at this point.
He might get his respect at last. Who knows?
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think it's Spurs or Thunder against the Celtics, right?
Yeah, like, that's what I have it. Like people,
that's gotta be it, right?
I saw Lowe today do his playoff thing from the other day, and he said he got the Nuggets in that.
I mean,
he has
I don't
those
know.
3 teams. He has those 3 teams plus the Nuggets as like actual real teams. I don't buy the Nuggets. I can't see. They got to beat both of them. They got to beat the Spurs and they got to beat OKC to get through the West. I ain't buying it. No.
Yeah.
No. Like, I have not seen that team together enough because Aaron Gordon's been out in that lineup. Jokic's been out in the lineup. I have not seen that team together enough to make me think that, yeah, they're going to be healthy all at the right time and they're going to, have a two months of heaven and get through it. I can't buy that. Like, I think that it's too hard. I think they get one of these teams. I don't think they get both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see. Should we talk about the Plies and Trick?
No, real quick. I got Thunder and Celtics in the finals, and I got the Thunder winning.
Thunder and the Celtics, and you got the Thunder winning.
Yeah.
Damn, that fucking stinks.
Oh, that's a terrible for Rich. Are you even gonna watch that finals?
I'll root for the Celtics before I root for the Thunder.
Oh my God.
Look.
At least you can lie to yourself and be like the Duke Allegiance with Jason Tatum. You can do that. You can do that. Fair enough.
You already know the agenda right there. And then
you Celtic Lakers fan is rooting against the Lakers in the first round and rooting for the Celtics in the finals. That is disgusting work.
I mean, you remember them old Miami Heat series? I used to root for both of them niggas like against each other. That was even funner for me. Like that would be like the Miami Heat versus Celtics.
Oh yeah.
Like I win either way. Look, somebody gonna knock somebody off.
You talking about LeBron and KG era?
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of Miami Heat, they're been eliminated. On the 83rd game. Get them the fuck that way.
That shit that LaMelo did. Like, I understand people are taking it way too far, and the mask coming off as far as how much they never liked him to begin with.
Is.
However, that was some fuck shit he did. Like, that's some, like, when I first saw it, the first thing was, I think I told you, like, the first thing I thought, this is some Draymond Green shit.
The first time I saw it was in slow motion, and I was like, is he trying to get up? Like, why is he grabbing him? Like, I was just more confused than anything.
Give me your feet. I'm just trying to take you out. I'm just trying to take you out. That's really what it came down to. Like, I'm just trying to, and nigga fell on his tailbone and was fucked up. This is the first time I've ever seen him do anything like this, so I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that, like, bad mistake, whatever else. If he does that shit again, bro.
I was gonna say, I can't ever think of anything that has been like that.
Right.
Even Spoelstra came out and was like, he's not a dirty player.
Right.
Like, y'all are
he
fucking
don't play
tripping.
hard.
Like,
a lot of times he never play hard enough to even do anything dirty, right? So it's like, I'm not willing to. He's not Grayson Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not Draymond Green. He's not Dylan Brooks. He's not some person with this reputation of doing fuck shit. So I'm not willing to.
Speaking of Grayson Allen, do you think his hair turning gray early as fuck is revenge for all the fuck shit he was doing at Duke?
He never stopped. He does it in the league too.
I mean, yeah.
But I don't know how they ain't fought him yet.
He must have hands or something,
brother. So did Steve Blake, but he still got body. Look. I can't believe I'm saying this. We as a society used to handle dirty white players in the NBA. I think we was in the league, right? You remember.
He must be able to fight. That's the only thing I can think of.
I know you remember seeing your boy Big Chief knocking Bill Laimbeer shit loose. I know you remember seeing that.
I've seen the clip.
I know you seen the grainy footage of
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
breaking Rudy Tomjanovich's face. I know you seen it. I was like, Kermit Washington. Sorry.
Kent Benson, he knocked out and broke his own hand.
Yes. Yeah, like it's. I don't know what's going on. I don't know.
We're losing recipes.
We used to keep shit in check.
Now it's Cooper Flag running around this bitch and Con Knibble running around this bitch.
Do you remember
James,
Jerry
what did I say before the season? I told you it was coming. All the white NBA players was coming this year, bro.
So do you remember when Jerry Stackhouse hemmed up Jeff Hornacek? Do you remember that?
Yes.
we can't do that no more.
Yes, it will be the National Guard gotta get called in.
Look, I guess it's like, look, he can get away with whatever because he knows that if we beat his ass up, it's gonna start a race war. Like, so maybe that's what it is. I'd be damned if Ray Sal's out here doing this kind of shit to me. I'd be damned. But yeah, man. How do we even get onto this topic?
I don't know. Beauty of the show.
Oh man, but yeah, man. Like I think that I think we're gonna have some really good playoff series. I think that the rounds 2 are gonna be incredible on both sides. Like, I know we're kind of just missing the Knicks and the Cavs and the Pistons because of Cade and everything, but like we saw last year what the Knicks can do.
All right, Cavs. Let's see it, Harden. Let's see it.
Right. Like, it's gonna be high level. Like, I think it's gonna be real interesting to be like, all right, can we actually count on, like, okay, Pistons? Is this a regular season basketball ass team? Is this Atlanta Hawks a decade ago? Is this, some of the teams we've seen that just get out, on a crazy run and then like they have nothing they can do when it comes time for playoffs, right?
Knicks, Hawks. I didn't know the Hawks are in the play. Shit, I might go to a fucking playoff game or something if the tickets ain't crazy.
Yeah. I think they're 7 seed.
They're the 6.
Oh, 6. Yeah. Remember, because Alexander Walker plays for them, and then Jalen Johnson, he's a borderline All NBA dude this year. And
looks like we still trying to figure out the 8 seeds. Like, apparently, Steph sent the fucking Clippers home.
Yep, it's Suns versus Warriors tomorrow, and then on the other side it's Hornets and I don't remember who else tomorrow.
I need Steph to go on a magical run and get the Thunder the fuck out of here.
Brother,
catch the Holy Ghost.
Can he get a time machine in 2016 or 15?
How about 22? Right?
It's gonna have to be one of them years.
Look at that little quadrant right there.
You gotta remember, like this is the words without Jimmy Butler after he fucked up his leg.
Yeah,
so, like,
that's true.
Yeah, this isn't. You know,
you got Draymond.
Hey, I don't know if you heard this.
Hall of Famer.
I don't know if you heard, bro. That shit. Did you see any of the highlights of what he did to Draymond at the end of that game?
No.
I'm not Draymond. Draymond did to Kawhi at the end of that game. Oh my god, bro. For anybody that is a Draymond as a Hall of Famer, you run these clips up.
Oh, what year is this for Draymond?
14, some shit like that.
Okay.
He's in the 2010 draft.
I think he was in the 2012 draft.
You're right. Because because he was younger than you're right. Yes, he was.
And he played 4 years.
Right. I forgot about that part.
Yeah.
I just remember him playing on Michigan State against UNC, like in UNC's like first game of one season. So I was thinking like he was the same grades as people. No, he was younger than them. He was freshman.
This nigga, he's 36 years old. I can't get over the fact this nigga's a year younger than me. That's hilarious. He seems so old.
I mean, he's gray. His offensive game has been ass for like over half a decade at this point.
Yeah. He plays like old nigga. Like,
bro, his offense, but bro, his deep, like, you gotta watch the clips of him guarding this man the last like 3 minutes of this game as the Clippers blow this lead. He is literally like Kawhi's not even looking at the shoot. That's how bad it is. They can't inbound the ball to get it to Kawhi at one point. The last possession when they're losing, the Clippers losing, they need to get down the court. Like Draymond picks him up full court. From
hold on, I must have heard you wrong. Draymond locked him up.
Yes, Draymond locked him up.
Okay, I thought you said he was getting killed.
No, Draymond was locking Kawhi up.
Oh,
Kawhi
okay.
did nothing.
Okay.
It was shocking. Because Kawhi's been like one of the finest players in the league since New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like first off, Draymond is a great off-ball defender, and he can guard bigs because he's quicker than them, and he has these skills. But like when it's time to guard a guard or a wing, or a big wing is never necessarily going great outside of like, hey, if it's Jaylen Brown, I know that he has no left hand, right? Mm-hmm. So but to see what he did to Kawhi is like Kawhi just couldn't. He didn't want to shoot. Like he getting the ball and he's like, nah, this ain't a good idea.
Are you James? Are you saying he didn't aspire to shoot?
No, he did not aspire to shoot. None of that. Like Draymond and Steph Curry basically ended the Kawhi Leonard era in LA. It's over. Like they getting out that business. I heard that like
I love when
Kawhi might end up on like the. He might end up on the Warriors. He might end up as a Heat. He might.
Well, he go back to the Spurs.
He need to take it.
I was going to say Toronto. Maybe he can go back.
Yeah. Gotta remember, San Antonio. They don't want him back.
Look, what about the Knicks?
I don't even know how that would go.
Oh no, they got OG Anunoby, man. Yeah, that shit ain't.
And I mean, you gotta remember all the Caps stuff with Towns and also with
Do we like Minnesota? Do we like Minnesota?
I would like that team, but then you got to jettison out Rudy to do that because Rudy's making max money.
What we waiting on? Like I don't.
What you saying?
I say what we waiting on.
You know what's funny? You know what would be a good place for Rudy? Like not saying like the money wouldn't work for this or whatever else, but like a good place for Rudy would be on the Lakers.
Yeah, I just don't know how the money, as you said, would work.
Right. I was thinking about. I was like, you know what? You put like, hey, he will hide up a lot of the issues that Reeves and.
I mean, he was Rudy Chamberlain on the court last year.
Okay, but I'm talking about this as like LeBron's retired or off the team, right?
Great big man, historically, Hall of Fame big man, be a Laker. All
right, so let me get my point done. But like, Luca and Reeves would greatly need a rim protector or whatever else. There's not too many teams that are going to be able to pull him out the paint because no one's ever able to pull him out the paint regardless of whatever they tried over years. Almost you can do is ISO him and light him up. If you have James Harden or Luca or Chris Paul, you can do that. Ain't too many of them, right? So then also on the other end, like you make Rudy a instant lob threat once you have Luca.
Yeah.
In a way that like he hasn't really ever been with, Donovan Mitchell's not really looking for that, but Luka definitely is always looking for someone to just vertically space. So, but the money would never work. But I think that will actually be a good putting Luka and Rudy Gobert together. They hide each other's deficiencies pretty well. But yeah, like I just think it's gonna be fun. From round 2 on, it's gonna be really fun, and yeah, hopefully Spurs. Hopefully, we'll see. I think the Thunder are going to win, but I would be very happy if the Spurs were to, buck all the trends and win this title.
Same.
And if they don't win this year, I think next year is the year.
Yeah.
Like
a little bit, like a taste of like a heartbreak could work for them, but like, man, it would be something. To see him just like, hey nigga, I'm 22 now?
22.
And this fucking league is mine now, nigga. What's up? You got to come through the fucking Alamo, nigga. Like,
I mean, either way, it feels a lot like, there's no Tim Duncan to do it, but like it feels like Tim Duncan talking to LeBron in the hallway after the finals, where it's like, this is gonna be your league soon, but I'm glad I can get this now, because, bro. Given how young the guys are with Dylan Harper and Castle and him and Vassell and like them dudes just ain't very similar to like the last 2 years of Thunder's team, where it's like they just young and they don't have no experience and they don't realize that NBA playoff basketball is different from regular season basketball and the matchups and all that kind of stuff and how efficient you have to be and how there's no room. You have to cut out all the fat. You got to get rid of all the bullshit and you got to have second moves. Your go-to move ain't gonna work. Once they get into that and they feel what that's like.
Any chance the Timberwolves, they love to eliminate a bitch.
I don't think so this year. I don't think
that brother Anthony Edwards be possessed in the playoffs.
That's true, but what seed are they? They're
the 6, and they're playing the Nuggets.
Yeah, I don't see it, man. I think because this is different from like the Nuggets being upset and getting upset by the Timberwolves 2 years ago.
Yeah,
where it's like because. This Nuggets team actually has a bench now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that they're too talented, and then they lost Alexander Walker too. So even that team is not the same team as 2 years ago for them. So, MP's crazy. Mike's crazy.
No,
you seen what I sent you? The same thing. God damn it. Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
So you want to do both of these topics. So you had the Aron Anderson quote that you said you wanted to bring up, and then
we could do it in passing because we could have talked about with Darby, where it's like people talked about like it's just about perspective. Like I feel like at times we lose sight of either you got to be a observer level Hall of Famer or get the fuck out of here at times. And like Aron Anderson was talking to I think Cena was relaying what Aron Anderson was like. When you think of me, you think of you hold me in high regard, right? But it's like I was never a main eventer, and I was only ever in the main event when I was either tagging with Flair or facing with Flair. But you guys see me as a legend, or you see me as you think highly of me. I think it was either Cody or Cena was
Triple H. I thought it was Triple H.
Yeah, and he was like, everybody else, all the kids now are like, it's main event or bust, and it's like that's a skewed perspective. Like there's only, it's too many people trying to be Chiefs, and not everybody's trying to be Native Americans. Like it's kind of skewed, and I get it, but is it realistic or is it healthy for you if you're trying to make it through this business and be like, I gotta be number one or get fucked or move on?
Yeah, it's wild because I imagine you feel like you're that good, you're that raw, and then it's like for whatever reason you don't end up getting to one of those 4 spots, let's just say. But there are plenty of guys I think that shit's gonna come with time, like, and people don't only learn these things through self-reflection of the past, because like while they're in it, they don't even get as far as they get without being like ultra competitive, ultra driven. And is it the healthiest way to probably proceed mentally throughout your career? Probably not.
And I also think, I we talk about this a lot. Like, I think this, like, those guys, while they was going through it, like, yeah, they had the drugs and the booze and all that kind of stuff, but like, they didn't have social media, and that shit's just as destructive. Like, at least like emotionally and spiritually, like that shit can be crushing. Because like, you see this constant feed of negativity, and it's working on and cracking your self-esteem repeatedly, and it's making you question what your beliefs are, even though you have to regroup and rethink, am I doing the right thing? Like, you having to question yourself after seeing what people say, because your body is wired to hold on to the negativity more than whatever positive feedback you get. That's definitely fucking with people. And that, we talk about this with the NBA, that fucks up the NBA guys. That's why we got Kevin Durant on fucking burners talking to influencers and shit. So yeah, like, it's a mind fuck, and it's really hard to deal with, and it's like, you need more. I feel like we need more people like Aron Anderson being like, hey man, like, it's not the end of the world if you crack your head on a glass ceiling and you still made a lot of money, and people will remember you well, right? And obviously in this area you can take care of your body better because people aren't doing all the crazy shit as much. As far as like recreationally.
Yep.
So I thought, and then it made me think of Darby. Is like, Darby's champion, like, he'll always have that. He'll always have that.
Yeah. Plies and Trick.
All right, we can get to that real quick. All right, so to give y'all a brief recap of one of the nights up in Atlanta with Rich and my cousin and Marcus and the rest of the crew. We were playing Flip 7 at the table, and then I don't know how I got brought up. Oh, but it was basically the conversation about Plies and Trick that got started online a few weeks ago, and then Rich proceeded to do the most Florida shit I've ever seen in my life from him. He proceeded to be the voice of Plies, or I was like, be the avatar, the advocate for Plies, in a Plies versus Trick Daddy 20v20 versus between my cousin Alex, who's the advocate for Trick Daddy, and he's in a group where it's me, it's Marcus, and it's Alicia, and we all grew up at a time where, for a long time, the biggest Florida MC that ever got any respect was Trick Daddy. Naturally, right? He was literally carrying the flag until Rick Ross and then later Plies showed up, over half a decade after him, So we have a different relationship with Trick Daddy than you do as a person that's, came here, probably thought, he's okay. I like some of his songs, but I don't think he's a real MC in that sort of way. And then you come across Plies, who, quite frankly, Plies cannot rap Trick Daddy, but neither here nor there. He had tons of hits, really, really good songwriter. You grew up a fondness for him, and so you're like, this is the guy. And man, like when people were talking about this online, it was Ice from the Button podcast phrasing it as Plies wins. And basically everyone from Florida was like, no, shut your Yankee ass up, get the fuck out of here. And my response was, I think that they're thinking the way that, like, how I think a lot of people think, and I think actually Plies is close. He's going to lose.
Offended.
But Plies, I think Plies is going to lose, but it's closer than people think. I think it's like 12-8, that sort of range. And then you're playing it, whatever else. And Alex, y'all both left stuff on the table, I felt, right? Like, Plies did not do... I'm sorry, Plies, as if you... Like, there was, like, one or two songs I remember, like, oh, I think he missed it, too. But, like Alex, he left off Fuck the Other Side. And I'm like, okay. So this is how this is. But my whole time was you're playing, I'm like... Because Rip set the tone early. Alex played something... Alex had the first half where he started his first 10. He's starting first. And Rich... Wait, which way was it?
I started first.
I
started with Shawty.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, he throwing a... one of his big cards out first, and Alex basically conceded. And then he got to a point where, like, all of a sudden, Alex because he's, it seems like he's trying to chase you. He plays "Shut Up" in like the first 5 songs. I'm like, bro, you're playing.
He plays that second. He plays that second after "Watch This." Can I come back with "Watch This" or whatever?
Oh, so you have the card. So I see it. I'm like, oh no, if he's playing "Shut Up" this early, it could get bad for Trick. Luckily, or not luckily, but like as it plays along, Trick Daddy ends up winning. I think there were like 3 or 4 of them that were like, we couldn't come to a consensus.
I feel like we need to talk about this.
Yeah, I mean, how fast? Okay.
No, I'm saying like as far as like
really
what it was, where I was like, look, man, do y'all think of Trick Daddy when y'all hear these? It was a lot of features getting played, and it was like, do y'all really think of Trick Daddy when you hear this song? And I'm like, it was a lot of Plies standing on his own too.
It's a lot of solo Plies. It's a lot of solo Plies, or basically it was mostly solo Plies. Like probably like 70-80% of it was solo Plies as far as the rapping verses. And then like the Trick Daddy side was probably like 50 to 60%.
Yeah.
Trick Daddy himself plus Trick Daddy and posse cuts, whatever. And that's the main thing. Like Take It to the House. There's tons of stuff that like, Born and Raised, Fuck the Other Side, like these are posse cuts. Shut Up. It's like these are him putting some slide niggas on here, and it's very for a person that did a lot of the Thug albums, like Thugs R Us and Thugs World. Is like it's quite fitting that he was putting out his own version of Outlaws on this track. He out rapping.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very fun, and I gotta say, Rich, it was one of my more proud moments. You like this man out here came up with 20 tracks of Plies, and they all can compete. And I remember saying to Alex, "I was like, hey man, like, you see how this night going?
Well, this shit ain't no walk in the park.
Do you think you could have treated that if you had to go 25 rounds?" He was like, honestly, no. And that is a thing for Plies being underrated, and also this era for being underrated, where it talks about like
I played none of the new Plies, none of it.
Right, you didn't play. Like you could have played Drip for Sale. You didn't play Drip for Sale.
Yep.
Right. Did you play Ritz Carlton?
Yep.
Okay, you did. All right.
Actually, that's the only new relatively Plies.
Yeah, you basically
I didn't play
like 07 through 2011.
11. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing for me was, it brought this other thing about that happens in these some of these verses when you talk about like some of these people that were analog record sales artists versus people that are in the streaming space. And Plies kind of missed the streaming space, but he's kind of later still. He still has some of his prime overlap with streaming, the takeover to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you might have bigger songs at the top, but a lot of these artists that are, when people make these comparisons, they have deeper bags of catalogs of songs they can go to. Like people love to do this whole like Chris Brown versus Usher thing, and Usher will win in a 20.
I'm sending you the scorecard right now.
Okay. Usher will win in a 20 versus Chris Brown, more likely than not, right? Or probably definitely, right? Not at 25, not at 30, not at 40, not at 50, because Chris Brown has to make a shit ton of records.
Yeah.
Or he has made a shit ton of records. Like, and that was one of the things that when when I evaluated people like Wayne, it was really hard for me to get past what there was a paradigm shift in this, especially because like people took so much to him with the mixtapes. I'm like, bro, you can't even sell them shits. But either way, it's like being prolific, like in a way, can stick with people more than just saying I got undeniable classic top 5 records or whatever else. Or my 5 best records are better than your 5. And people were like, a lot of people were like, at this point, like I value the best 20 more, or the best 25 better than the best 5. And that was like basically what it came down to with Trick and Plies. Like Trick Daddy had a better 5 or 6 or 7 than Plies, undeniably. But once you fill out the rest of it, it's like, okay.
I feel like if I need to digitize this and like put it on a thing and send it out for the internet to decide, because like when I heard this whole thing when I heard Ice, I agree with Ice. I was like, and I was like, no, like this nigga Plies has never ever been credited or shown love. He was an industry outsider essentially. He didn't work with a lot of people, none of that shit. That's why a lot of these songs by himself, by the way.
Right.
It was singers and shit. Like,
So, also another part about it with the Plies and Trick Daddy thing is like as I mentioned with Ross and Plies later on, like both these niggas came like they don't break if not for Trick Daddy breaking, right? Like there's no if not for Trick Daddy. Obviously, you can say the thing about Luke with Trick, right? But like if not for Trick Daddy breaking through as a real MC, there's no Trina, there's no Ross, and there's no Plies, there's no Slip and Slide. And all of them came through Slip and Slide. So there's also something to be said about that. But like, we're not getting into the direct line of influence as far as who's better. We're talking about like, hey, man, best 20 tracks, and like Trick Daddy, surprisingly, like I mean not surprisingly, like I thought it was gonna be close, but it was even a bit closer than I thought it was gonna be. It was uncomfortably close for me. So
this is my point where I was like, Plies will get his respect tonight. Like I was like, I knew a lot of shit to play. Like I was hitting them just different ones or whatever, just keeping this nigga afloat. So like it was Shawty versus Sugar. Watch this against Shut Up. Plenty Money. Let's go. Yep. We gave it to Plenty Money. Becky versus Jump on the Dick. I didn't like that.
A lot of white people would have been like, "Let's go for sure." Like, no. What? Look, what's in my pocket, dog?
Big Face Honest.
That shit will ring off forever. But what were you saying? The next round.
Becky versus Jump on the Dick. I didn't like that one. I thought that should have been Becky. That was like the biggest song of the summer in 2010. I remember it clearly. But I was outvoted on that one.
That one was close. Didn't we call Shaw about that one? I can't remember.
I don't think we did. No.
Okay.
It was Hypnotize, which huge song against Scarred. There ain't nothing you can do with that.
Yeah, you immediately were like, yeah, Scarred's winning that. Like you didn't even put the fight. Like,
yeah. Ran off on the plug twice versus Memphis Bleak's Round Here. I was like, I'm all right.
So that was one of those ones I had to explain to you, like, bro, you do not understand what that Just Blaze shit sounded like in a car, in a box Chevy with 15s in the back. That shit used to ring like this before we figured out that like you should be playing 808 like the next octave up, and it rings through. It makes your trunk rattle even crazier. So like. When you hear it in headphones, it sounds weak, but when you put it in the system, it blams like good crazy shit you ever heard. It rattles everything. So that was a go-to. Look, there's a reason why some 4 niggas like Trick Daddy, like me and Marcus, because of that song in particular. So yeah, for us it was like that's us. Maybe that's just an us thing.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, ran off on the plush white. I was like, man, if I ain't gonna get that one, like I was in a position where I felt like I had to steal rounds or whatever I wanted to compete. And I felt like that one got stolen from me. So I was like, fuck, I'm behind the 8 ball now. So I was like, all right, so we're doing features. I'm going to play one of Plies' few features, Wasted, against a song called America. Alex answered what I had never heard. There were quite a few Trick Daddy songs I had never heard that he played.
Oh, see, that's another thing. Like I think you would like Trick Daddy even more if you heard more of them. But yeah, like that. But still, Wasted still won.
Yeah, 100 Years versus Born and Raised. They gave it Born and Raised. I think they gave me Born and Raised at the end because it has a star next to it.
No. Well, no. He had Born and Raised. You had 100 Years.
Yes.
We were split. We were split. I had Born and Raised because, like, I have never heard Plies out rap that verse. Like just. So, but 100 Years, like they ended up going to Shaw. Shaw said 100 Years. Marcus and Shaw said 100 Years. I said Born and Raised. But man, every time I hear that verse, I fucking love it. Like, I blew your doze off. You race your car against my car, leave your ass so far, you'll doze off. And when I take off, it's like I took off. And when I fly by, when I drive by, it's like I fly by. It's like, oh my god, like he's making that shit look effortless. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Then we got Fuck You Gonna Do About It. Here's where I was like, I'm deep in the Plies bag at this point. And it's like, everybody knows this fucking song, but it's not a single or no shit like that. They play, Alex plays Stand Up in response to that. T.I. Stand Up.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
It's a T.I. song.
Okay, it is a T.I. song.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, That's a Plies single versus it's Trick Daddy, T.I. and Wayne with Jill John on it. It's like yeah, like for us that just meant more than that. But the point still stands that it's Plies by himself. Some of that's his own doing, but it's Plies by himself.
We got I Am the Club against Back in the Day, and that was the first round, and then we switched. Then he went first. I think he came out with Can't Fuck with the South. I was like, ain't really shit you can do with that.
You can't do much with that one.
So I threw out
one of them. Yeah,
I threw out a sentimental favorite. I was like, all right, Chirping. Everybody loves Chirping with that fucking guitar and the way that shit, bro. I thought I was gonna swing the room just a little bit, but I threw it on there. I was like, nigga, it ain't gonna be easy. I was like, I got this. Like,
if we had voted against Fuck with the South versus anything you had up there, Sarah would have teleported. Like, Sarah would have teleported up there and been like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
You going against whom?
Then he played.
Sorry, hold on. Sarah is Marcus's wife, not Sarah from Sarah never heard this fucking song. I fucking die.
Sarah, I would pay for the dramatic reading of "Can't Fuck with the South" by Trick Daddy from Sarah. So, anybody want a motherfucking come see me? Ooh, that's me. Then we got Lil Jon and Eastside Boys Play No Games against Plies. You.
Yeah. You thought you was gonna sway people with mayonnaise off in your salad. I'm like, nah, man, that didn't work for me back then when I was in Empire in the club hearing that shit.
I know who it did work for. I know who it did work for. That demographic.
Yeah, that demographic likes a lot of them Plies and Trick songs. A lot of them.
Then we got a song called Tonight by Trick Daddy. I counter with Busted Baby Part 2.
Yeah, that was an easy dub for that one.
Yeah. He countered with In the Wind and was basically acting like it was an automatic point. I was like, you sure? I was like, that's kind of low energy, don't you think? And then
what did you play against? I forgot.
Who Hotter Than Me?
Oh, yeah. That ran off too. I mean, that was one that was like, that's a good song, but then like you had to reach in your bag. You had to pull out a big Plies record to get it out of there.
I wanted to steal one. So like I was like, I need this.
Yeah.
Then he played I'm a Thug, and then I played I'm the Man.
Yeah. It felt like you conceded when that happened.
Yeah.
Or conceded that round anyway. Not the war, but that particular battle. That round.
Played Tuck That Ice In. And then I answered with Bricks on Me, which went off like gangbusters.
Yep.
I was like, no, nigga, we sat up like The Undertaker.
Yeah. He
played Thug Holiday, and I played One More Time. Mm-hmm. I didn't like this one. I was like, one more time on this one, but they didn't agree.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Rich. You got to take that on that one. Thug Holiday just means something different.
He played Take It to the House next. I played I'm Fucking Awesome.
Yep.
He played Nan. Then I played Old Lady.
Yeah.
And then I'm So Hood at the end, which Plies has a better verse, but whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like it felt like you had to get some of his best stuff out the way earlier. And once he had to play Shut Up that early, I was like, you got a chance, but he was able to hold on to Nan. He was able to hold on to Take It to the House, and I was like, okay. And he didn't, you know, you almost got him. If in a different arrangement of these records, you actually win. But it's the way the fight went, if you will.
Yeah. I think I listened to Thug Section after. I also should have played.
Oh yeah, Thug Section is one I thought you should have played. Yeah.
I should play Rob Myself also, cause I forgot how hard that shit went. I was like, ooh.
You think it would have been better than anything you played?
I would have definitely got a point on Rob Myself. Like the way that shit would have dropped.
What would you have dropped off the thing to do that though? What would have been the round you would have put that in?
I'd have probably played it instead of You.
Okay. What was you up against?
Play No Games.
Yeah, you might have won that one.
Yeah.
You might have won that one.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple of Plies joints. I've been listening to a bunch of Plies of late.
But this is the real thing, right? Plies got like 25, 28 songs that could have been played in a 20-round versus. Trick got like 23.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Like it's just a different animal than in the different eras. It just is.
Yeah.
So like, luckily Trick Daddy, his top 5 is beating the hell out of Plies' top 5. It just is what it is. So he ended up ultimately being able to hang on. But like I said, if it went 25, he would have won. If it went 30, it would have got ugly.
Yeah, like I'd have
Plies
started
go 30, 35.
I'd have started playing some of the newer Plies then. Like I didn't play Pants Hang Low. I should have probably played that. I didn't play fucking Got 'Em Hatin'.
You could have played Shopper Zone. You could have played. You could have played Got 'Em Hatin'.
Got 'Em Hatin'. Yep.
Yeah. He got a lot of shit. He just does.
So I'm like Plies is bro. Like that's what I was like. People
He's
talk
under-
about Plies like he just is walking apart. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I know what the fuck Plies is out here doing, dog.
I think a lot of people. I mean, I don't think a lot of people listen to Plies albums like that.
Bro, he made some of the best albums, and like what I used to remember about Plies albums, he would
made
do all
very
this
good
shit
albums.
without
He made
big
albums that
name.
were a lot better than his level of skill as a rapper. Yes,
Yeah,
and
he would do it without big name producers. Like he would get like 2 or 3 songs from like your big name producer, and then fill it out the rest with like local niggas you never heard of. And that should be slapping.
We also knew where he was recording in Tampa. It was
That's
just like
true.
we should know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, because honestly, like outside of Drummer Boy and outside of like J.R. Rodham,
Zaytoven towards the end.
Okay.
He got Manny Fresh at one point, but just for one track. But like, the majority
the bulk of the stuff is like no name producers for the most part.
Yep. So Deep Productions. Yep. Yep. Shout out Brian. But yeah, man, that was really fun. I had a blast doing that, and then there was like a Kanye Drake one that we judged.
Oh my god!
And that one was
Alex,
like.
So Alex, after we did that, we moved over to Alex, who is a gigantic Kanye fan. I guess lately he's not actually attaching himself to it because it's like, I can't really attach myself to a guy that Hell Hitler and all that kind of shit. I'm like, bro, I'll tell you to get off this shit. Whatever. Marcus, who has still been hurting ever since Kendrick Lamar put all sorts of hands on Drake. I don't know how Marcus became a huge Drake fan, because if you know what Marcus listened to, and you said this is gonna be
it don't match.
Drake guy, it don't make no sense. This is a Gucci Mane, Jeezy, like Future guy, right? Migos guy, like he's a huge Atlanta guy. All of a sudden, he's a Drake guy. I mean, maybe it's because of all the features. I don't know, but. Man, like he tried to start this off, and man, like I think the first track. Who started first? You remember?
Yeah, I got theirs as well.
Just tell me who started first. Let me tell me the rounds, or tell me the round. I know what the first round will happen.
Marcus started it.
Marcus started by playing what?
Headlines.
By playing headlines.
I was like, he's instantly in trouble right there.
And then Alex said, "Fuck this! I'm playing Power."
No, he said, "I'm playing Runaway."
Okay, he played Runaway. And then I think the next 2 or 3 tracks is Power.
He played Moment for Life and then Power.
Yeah. So basically what Alex did was he basically started from, and I told him, like, hey, bro, don't play none of this Nazi shit. Don't play none of this before, after Life of Pablo, yay, bipolar, I do crazy shit, nonsense, troll shit. Don't play none of that. Don't play no Slavery Was a Choice, Kanye West. I want to hear it. It's going to automatic. I've never heard
none of
that
against
music.
That shit. Bro, he played that Carnival song. We said, fuck that. We voting for Nokia off principle. Fuck it.
Yeah. So I told him, you play any of this pre-slavery, any post-slavery Was a Choice Kanye shit, I ain't heard it. Except for that Vultures or the shit about the shit with the choir, I ain't heard none of anything but that, right? So I automatically gonna get an X for me. So this man's basically what he did was he started from dark fantasy and went backwards, and then occasionally he would throw in some Yeezys in between, but he didn't even get to College Dropout. He didn't even get anything on late registration. Oh, he
barely. We Major.
He did We Major. He didn't do Diamonds. He didn't do Diamonds.
Diamonds Forever.
he didn't do Touch the Sky.
Yep.
And when I tell you the beating that he put on Drake,
bro, it was like
I think he only played one
bad.
Heartbreak song too.
It was bad, dog.
Like for the first half of the thing, for like it was like 5 rounds.
I just sent you the scorecard.
Yeah, for like 5 rounds, Alex was just playing like Cruel Summer, and he was getting Drake out of there. I was like, oh my god, bro. I was. Yeah, Mike. I didn't know about none of that. I don't care neither. That's whatever, bro.
We don't desire to do no shit like that. We some family men. We getting this paper, you know.
By the first 10, where Drake is starting first, Alex is up 4-6,
and Marcus makes a late push to get it to 4. And like I thought, like he was down like 6-5-1 or something like that.
There was a point where, like, in this close to like the third quarter of it, if you will, it was kind of close. Alex was like, "I'll let him have it," and I was like, "Ooh," because there was what was it? Started from the bottom versus We Major, and Alex was like, "You can have it." I'm like, man, shit me. I'd rather hear We Major than fucking start from the bottom. Now we here. And ultimately, at the end, it ended up being 13-7. I was like, God damn, he beat the hell out of him. He didn't have to pull out no college dropout, so that means no through the wire,
no spaceship.
No Jesus Walk. He played one Jesus Walks. He played Jesus Walks.
Yeah, he played Jesus Walks.
Yeah, that was the only song he played, and then like he only played. It was nuts. I was like, bro, there's a clear difference between what we talk about when it comes to this GOAT shit. Now, here's the thing, right?
He played the wrong Drake songs.
That's true, but because he could have played Money to Blow, for example, and got it in the better. That would easily been in better than the 20 he put out there, right? But because he also could have played. He could have played Please Don't. We're Going Home or whatever else. I mean,
you ain't get no points.
They ain't get no points from me when this nigga can play crack music, like you know.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's a top 100, I think Drake might have a shot, but. That top 20, no, he getting his ass beat by Kanye badly, and we talking about like the old Kanye that was getting him out of there.
Like he could have played Best I Ever Had. Like he could have like there was a lot Marcus I thought missed from early Drake that he could have been like could have tugged on the heartstrings. But like damn,
I don't think he thought about that. I think he was just going off vibes, and Alex was like, I am here for the kill. Because, bro, when you play Power, when you play a Kanye verse in the third track, he plays Power, you're not fucking around.
Yeah, I'd have probably started with Power just to set the tone. Like, nah, we taking this back.
I think he probably would have had he played a better song than
could have played I'm Going In. Like there was a bunch.
He could have played that. But here's the thing, Alex didn't play I Go Hard that Khaled shit either.
Yeah.
There was plenty of stuff that Alex left. Like he just did a good job. He didn't do a great job. And it was like he just did a great job and he still smacked the shit out of Drake. That's nuts. But but one thing I want to say about this, the second set of verses, right? While going through Drake and Kanye West's verses, these are two of the all-time greatest rappers of all time. Right? Two of the biggest musical acts of the last 25 years of music. Mm-hmm. Gotta say, I had a lot more fun going through Trick and Plies.
Absolutely.
That was so much more fun. I can't explain
Plies the underdog. Plies the underdog, and it was like...
It was a lot of nostalgia in the room.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, are we sure about this? It was a point to prove, like with this. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah,
like and the concept of the best of 7 verses. Oh, we got to do some of them.
Oh yeah.
We got to do them.
Yeah. Some people that like got some absolute hitters, but like they're people that have like the pop star discography, like they got big hits, but necessarily not great albums or whatever else, or not they have long success, whatever else. There are a lot of rappers that got a hot 7 hot ass tracks for your ass. So we'll come up with something eventually.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something.
Going like the Discord channel or some shit and do some shit.
Y'all throw us some suggestions and we'll probably. Me and Rich will probably do it. Well, we'll figure out how to do it or whatever. So, put shit on YouTube. That shit getting taken down.
Oh, yeah. Quickly. Yeah. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, they not play. Like, that shit's for sale and not here.
Right.
Yeah. But is there anything else?
Nah, let's wrap it up. I think everybody done logged off or got kicked off. 1 to 2.
All right. Thanks for listening, y'all. That's the end of the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. If you are watching from the stream, which maybe not, if you're watching later or whatever else, go to the show notes for the wrestling link. You donate there, and be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Radio, you have Keeping It Strong Style, All Things Elite, AEW Match Guide, Imps Adventures, the Trish Sarah Wrestling Podcast, Tumble Talk, and Wrestling Art with Chris Things. Thanks for listening. Oh, also Joe Shing Around. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Yes,
Later.
sir. Peace.
Okay, I'm done recording.
All right, y'all. Peace.